It's time for Intelligent Machines. Jeff Jarvis is here. Paris Martineau, our guest this hour, the wonderful Guy Kawasaki, Apple's original evangelist. And now he's evangelizing Signal Messenger. He's got lots to say about Apple, Signal, politics, and more. Guy Kawasaki next on Intelligent Machines.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Intelligent Machines with Paris Martineau and Jeff Jarvis. Episode 861, recorded Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. We have computer at home. It's time for Intelligent Machines, the show where we cover the latest in AI, robotics, and all the smart doodads and doohickeys all around you, and where we very often have a very interesting guest for our interviews. I'm going to introduce our guest in a minute, but let me say first hello to Paris Martineau, who is a killer at the Scrabble game. Thanks a lot. 4 letters, 77 points.
You know, I saw that one. I played a very well-placed hoax right before we got on.
You did it on purpose to rattle me.
I did. I had to knock Leo off his game before we started recording. And I think I've done that successfully.
Yes, you have. And Jeff Jarvis is also here. Oh, by the way, Paris works for Consumer Reports, where she's an investigative reporter. And Jeff Jarvis, of course, the author of the Gutenberg Parenthesis magazine and the newest Hot Type, which is available for pre-order right now. All about the history of the linotype, which actually turns out to be very interesting.
More interesting than you would think, yes.
More interesting than one would think. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, boss.
How come you're not playing us in Scrabble? Don't you play Scrabble?
I hate games. I hate all games.
I
don't do
games
crosswords.
Is a crazy statement.
I don't do Wordle. I hate people sharing
levity.
their Wordles. I hate
people
this
sharing their Wordles is evil. I will agree.
Yes, it is.
Don't share your Wordles. That's our.
It's like telling me you had a good BM. Just shush. Keep it to yourself.
Not even close. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our guest to him now, as I'm very embarrassed to say, is already here. Guy Kawasaki. I don't need to tell you who Guy is. Hey, great to see you, Guy.
Oh, nice to see you too.
18 books. This is your 18th book.
You know, after I wrote my first one, I said that's my last book, and I've said that 18 times now. So, yeah.
I know how that is. Was Selling the Dream your first one?
No, my very first one was called The Macintosh Way. It was about,
that's right.
You know, how to do the right things the right way based on my Macintosh division experience.
Guy became famous as Apple's chief evangelist in the 90s, really helping the world appreciate the Macintosh. You must be. I mean, in 2 weeks, Apple's going to celebrate its 50th birthday.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What years were you there? Were you there, Guy?
I was there from 83 to 87 and 95 to 97. And if you are a real Apple historian, you would see that whenever I leave Apple, it does extremely well.
You were there in the darkest days of the mid-90s.
Yeah. Now, causation is not correlation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Were you there for the Mac and the laser writer and all that?
Oh yeah.
That's what
that was the
famous.
tenth time, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was, this book coming out about Apple by David Pohl, the 50th anniversary. I told him that at De Anza College, when we watched the introduction of Macintosh, it was like watching your first child be born. It was an amazing experience.
That's the one where Steve was in a bow tie and the Mac was in a bag.
Yeah, right. And he made it talk.
He pulls it out, puts it on the table, and says, "Hello, I am Macintosh," and the crowd went crazy.
Yeah, it's good to get out of the bag.
It's good. Yes. For that time, 1984, it was very advanced technology. I remember lining up at Macy's in March of that year with my Macy's credit card because it was $2,500. It was very expensive, and charging that first Mac. And because I was a believer from the very beginning, because I had been pressing my nose against the window of the Lisa which was $10, $10,000, and it made
I was gonna
25.
say.
No, 10,000, and it made $2,500 look cheap. So we thought, oh, Apple's bringing computing back down to earth, back to the masses.
So believe it or not, in my Linotype book, it ends with PostScript and desktop publishing, and that which replaced everything that came before. And the amazing collection of people, the dots connected that made the laser writer possible with PostScript, with Linotype as well. And it's a fascinating story about the kind of a rescue of the whole thing by the right people, the right place, the right time.
Now, I have to say, Guy has a track record that goes well beyond Apple. He was the first U.S. employee of Canva and did something very smart. It says that you negotiated your salary in stock.
Yeah. I mean, I told him that I didn't want any money. I just wanted everything in stock, which, for once in my freaking life, I made a good decision. I mean, you're also talking to the guy who quit Apple twice and turned Steve Jobs down for a third job. So,
Wow.
That roughly cost me $250 million. And then I was asked to interview to be the first CEO of Yahoo, and I said it was too far to drive. So,
Do you still surf every day?
I surf almost every day. I'm in Hawaii right now, and we're in the middle of a little bit of a storm, but I surfed yesterday. I might surf today. Wow. I love to surf. I started surfing, Leo, at 60 years old, which is 55 years too late, but I love surfing.
You're Hawaiian. But you didn't surf in Hawaii when you were a kid?
Well, Leo, I don't know if you haven't noticed, but I'm Asian American. So Asian Americans, all we did was study for the SATs in high school.
Well, it worked out just fine.
Yeah, well, this is before you could just Photoshop yourself into the sailing team and get into the Ivy League. You actually had to take the
work
SAT.
for a living. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good you went to the Ivy League. You went to Stanford, right?
I did, and to this day, I do not know how the hell I got it. My only explanation, Leo, is that I went to Stanford so long ago that at the time, Japanese Americans were considered an oppressed minority.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
What was your major?
Oh, that's another great story. So, back then, if you were Asian American, your parents wanted you to be a doctor, lawyer, or dentist. So I started in pre-med. I went on this Stanford course where you went around rounds in the medical center. And on the first day, I fainted. So I said, that takes out medicine. And then I read that dentists have the highest level of suicide. So that eliminated dentistry. And so I tried law, and I went to law school for 2 weeks and quit.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Happiest lawyers I've ever met are former lawyers, so I think you probably made it.
Well, I tell people that, like, most people think it takes 20 or 30 years to figure out they hate being a lawyer. I figured that out in 20 days.
So looking back on your life, I mean, you're far from the end of it. We're going to talk about your brand new book in just a second, but it's kind of feels not random, but there was a lot of serendipity, did you feel like you had a path, or that
No,
life just took you on a ride?
I wouldn't say it was random, but it certainly wasn't a plan. I mean, I went to Stanford. I majored in psychology because that's the easiest major I could find. I went to law school. I dropped out. I went back. I got an MBA. While I was at the MBA, I was working for a jewelry manufacturer, schlepping diamonds. And then I went to that. And from that, I went to Apple. And, if you sat down, you wouldn't say, well, Guy, the path to technology is you go to law school and you drop out. You get an MBA. You count diamonds. And then you go to Apple. I mean, I am living proof, Leo, that nepotism sometimes can work out. So, yeah, I'm proud of that.
You ought to be.
Basically, my life has been that I have an open mind and a growth mindset. And when things interest me, I pursue them, and some of them become passions.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So you do a podcast called Remarkable People, which is obviously a passion project.
Yes. It sure as hell ain't financial. But,
yeah, tell me about podcasting. Yeah. But it turned out you have an excellent co-host with you, and together you've written a brand new book, your 18th book. Everybody has something to hide.
Yes.
But the book is really about how and why to use Signal to protect your privacy, security, and well-being. How did it come about that you were writing this book?
Well, to put it mildly, we are in interesting political times. And about a year and a half ago, I read an article in Wired and also another one by the EFF about how security and privacy is so much more important in a dystopian world that we live in. And I read that. I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. Why would I give Meta all my information and Google all my information? And then, then Tim Cook started going to the White House and donating money to the East Wing and, going to the Melania movie unveiling and all that stuff. I said, I got to have more privacy in my text messaging. And I read about Signal. I use Signal. I love Signal, just the user interface and the functionality. And every year I go to South by Southwest and I interview somebody. And so they asked me, who would you like to interview this year? And I said, I'd like to interview the CEO of Signal, Meredith Whitaker. I interviewed her. I was blown away by her remarkableness. And so I fell in love with Signal. And then I looked and said, there's no book written about Signal. So I thought it was more or less, seriously, I mean completely seriously, I thought it was my moral duty to write a book about Signal to help people get more private and secure.
Who are you aiming this at? It isn't. It's about getting to use it, right? It's not particularly technical.
It is not particularly technical in the sense that, if you're an encryption nerd, I'm not going to talk about double ratcheting and, right. I don't know, all the other stuff. But there's a lot of people who have something to hide. And I don't mean just because they're doing illegal bad stuff. But anyway, everybody has something to hide. And I think that, a lot of them don't know what Signal is. So that's one purpose of the book. And then once you know what Signal is, I want you to maximize its privacy and security because, if you do things wrong, I don't want you to get the misimpression that you are already secure. You need to do a few simple things. And I would like people to not be deceiving themselves.
Yeah. Honestly, I want this book to be a huge bestseller because I would like to use Signal entirely. But of course, Signal only works with other Signal users. And it's always the problem with all these messaging platforms. They're all silos now.
Yeah. And I think that is the biggest problem that Signal faces because you cannot use Signal unless the other people are on Signal.
Right.
So much of the book is dedicated to how you evangelize Signal to other people now. And that is literally the biggest problem. Now, it is worth it. And Leo, if I could go back in time, I would only use Signal too. I mean, it is so much better than everything else.
And it's got something called perfect forward secrecy. So even if the NSA stores all the messages you've ever sent, hoping that someday with quantum computing, they'll be able to unencrypt it, they're still not going to be able to unencrypt it. So you're private forever, which is nice.
Well, I think so, but
let's hope so anyway.
Yeah, you just never know. But on the other hand, so let's say that we give Signal the benefit of the doubt and believe that. Well, I mean that alone should be enough. But if you think about it, everybody says they have end-to-end encryption. Signal says that, WhatsApp says that, Apple says that. But what people don't understand is end-to-end encryption means the message is scrambled, but there's also the metadata. And to use a metaphor, the metadata is like the outside of the envelope. the message inside the envelope is scrambled. That's encryption. But the outside of the envelope, which is who sent it, where they sent it from, when did they send it, this is all kinds of circumstantial evidence. But from metadata and circumstantial evidence, you can really, really pinpoint people. You might not have the message, but you have a lot of circumstantial evidence. And Signal only keeps 3 pieces of metadata information, which is when you open the account, when you last used it, and what was the third? When you opened, when you last used it, and your phone number. That's the only thing. Yeah. That's
and
the
it doesn't
only
have to be
3 things.
your actual phone number. You can use any phone number that you can get a text message on to verify
that is also true. But if you think about it, if you knew somebody's phone number and you knew when they opened an account and you knew when they last used it, that's not very helpful in building a case against that person. I mean, so that's why Signal's better.
As a reporter, as an investigative reporter, Paris uses Signal for tips.
All the time. I also use it as a group chat with a lot of different friends, just as a normal way to communicate.
Yeah.
Albeit it's somewhat more confusing for me because I have 2 phone numbers, but that's not what normal people do.
But I would make the case, Paris, that as a reporter or a journalist, the level of secrecy and privacy is important, but it's also very psychological, because if somebody is giving you a tip or somebody's blowing the whistle and you insist on them using Signal, it is a signal, no pun intended, to them that you care about their welfare, right? You're telling them, I don't want to put you at risk. We have to switch to Signal. And if I were the whistleblower, or if I were the person trying to communicate with you, I would say, wow, Paris really cares. I mean, that's a positive.
That's a very good point, actually. You're sending a signal with Signal.
Yeah.
It is.
You said something. I'm going to have to, and if it's in politics, I apologize. But you said something that kind of struck a nerve, which is that Tim Cook has, and I think there's some Apple fans, I'm an Apple fan, who have been upset by this. But he's doing it, I guess, because he feels like he owes it to Apple's employees and stakeholders. He has kind of bent the knee to the current administration. Sounds like that bothers you.
It bothers me a lot. I mean, my logic is, if you are running one of the most valuable companies in the world, you're one of the richest people in the world, if you cannot stand up for what's right, who the hell can, right? I don't understand that. And so, it used to be that Apple was the computer for the rest of us, and, it was like improve people's creativity and productivity. Now it seems like the mission of Apple is we avoid tariffs,
That's not much of a mission, is it?
No, we're the lowest tariff computer company. Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
I mean, I do not understand that. Now, you could make the case that fiduciary responsibility is to the shareholders, blah, blah, blah. And, you could make the case he's been quite successful at avoiding tariffs, so he's done his fiduciary duty, but I don't know. I think there's a higher road here, and let's see how it works out in the end. I don't know. On the other hand, Leo, there are companies I can boycott, but man, I just
can't boycott. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
How can I boycott? Yeah, what am I gonna?
But where are you gonna go?
Exactly.
Who's better?
Exactly.
What would now? You knew Steve Jobs really well. What would Steve have done in this situation?
First of all, I don't want to paint a picture that I was in his inner circle and his BFF. I was not, which is maybe explains why I survived. But anyway, I hope that he would see through this and not do this. But I really don't know. And I'm telling you that, it's very difficult for a mortal like me to try to interpret what a god like Steve Jobs would do. Okay. This is a different opera. It's like explaining to a fish what it's like to fly.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
It's a question that we ask all the time on our shows, and I know a lot of Apple fans ask, but it's a question no one can really answer. We just don't know.
I really.
I think we like to think Steve would have given him the finger.
Exactly. But, I mean, listen, I would have thought Tim Cook would have, but I mean, if you look at all the people donating money to the inauguration, taking pictures with him, going to the Melania movie and all that, like basically, if you were to say, I'm not going to do business with any of those companies. Well, you can't do business with Google. You can't do business with Meta. You can't do business with Microsoft. You can't do business with Apple, with Target. I mean, pretty soon, we're rubbing two sticks together when using an abacus. I mean, what?
Hasn't Microsoft bent the knee a little bit less or shown up a little bit less, which I wouldn't have expected them to be the one?
There's only one company that has been really not in that camp, and that's Anthropic at this point.
Yeah.
The AI company.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. And
but wait a minute. Go ahead, Guy. Yeah, Guy might know something.
Let us discuss this. All right. So I'm not privy to any inside, but it seems to me that Anthropic did a deal with this administration a long time ago.
They did.
It was after, the convictions. It was after the first term. It was after all this, right? So after all that, they cut a deal. And then fast forward to today, and they blew up the deal because guess what? It wasn't working out like they thought. Well, I would make the case, when you cut that deal in 2016 or 15 or 14, it wasn't like, oh my God, this is a surprise. I had no idea. He treated all his vendors when he was making hotels so well. He did everything right. He never got into trouble. This is a complete turn of events.
No.
I mean, you can't tell me that he said, oh, man, I'm dealing with a real up and up guy here. I mean, you should have known better now. And now OpenAI is doing this. And I think a lot of it, Leo, is arrogance. That all these tech bros, they think, I can cut a deal. I got more power. I got better lawyers. We're going to structure it. Nobody can screw us. And Trump just rolls over them.
You were going to say Paris?
Oh, I mean, it was just context with Anthropic. I think that, it's, a completely different point from what we're talking about now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, and I'm sure, Guy, I know you aren't old enough to have been in an internment camp, but I'm sure you certainly know about the Japanese internment camps of World War II, and that probably colors a little bit your point of view about what's going on today, too.
Well, I mean, I would make a case that no Japanese American could possibly support these camps that are happening right now. And, what's happening to the Somalis and the Muslims and all that in America. I mean, if you're Japanese American, unless you're a hypocrite, you have got to support those people. I mean, it should not have happened to the Japanese American, and it should not happen to other minorities. Yeah. Absolutely. There's no question.
Jeannie Houston was a good friend, and her book Farewell to Manzanar is really...
Oh, yeah. She was on my podcast,
Yeah, she was amazing and very moving story of that.
George Takei is like just, ripping it up too.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I love George.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So everybody has something to hide. Why and how to use Signal. Have you been able to persuade your friends and family to use Signal now?
Some of them. I have not been able to convince my family, like my kids and my wife. But there's a second set of friends that I use Signal almost exclusively. And Leo, tell me what you think of this idea. So I'm sure you have the same problem where every day you get dozens of messages from clowns who say, I read your past book. I have a book club in Bristol, London or something. And, we have 100 members. We love your book. Would you like to be part of our book club? And, blah, blah, blah. And, I found the perfect position for you at Leo. I'm recruiting for CBS News, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I'm thinking I'll have a automated answering system that says, if you really want to write to me, you write to me on Signal. My Signal address, I'll tell you, is GuyKawasaki.404. 404 is a little wink, right? So now I won't take any email. You have to write me on Signal. So that is a barrier. You have to join Signal or be on Signal to write me. That would be a very interesting experiment. But my greatest fear is that your producer would be writing to me an email and get that and say, it's not worth getting on Signal to get Guy
he's on Signal.
Show.
Benito's definitely on Signal. I know you're on Signal, right,
I am
Benito?
On Signal. Yes, I am.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Benito comes from a long line of political activists in the Philippines. Yeah, he's definitely on that list. And I'm Leo Laporte.24. And Paris is, what is it, Paris.nyc? What are you on Signal, Paris? Do you even remember?
I think it's
because we stopped using phone numbers. I was really happy.
267-797-8655 on Signal.
She's still using phone numbers.
It's the work phone number I have for Signal, and it's ingrained.
Wait, aren't you Martin 001? Aren't you Martin 001?
I am Martin 001 on Signal.
That's the one you want.
I should have just done Paris and then a number, but it's too late now.
No, Martino's good. I like that.
But one of the beauties of this is that once your email is well known, anybody can get into your inbox, right? Now, but with Signal, there's two barriers. First, the person has to get on Signal. And secondly, when they send you that first Signal message, you have to accept it. And if you don't accept it, you never hear from them again. Whereas on email, they can keep emailing you, right?
Yep.
So this is a way of getting rid of the pain in the asses in your life. I really
Another great reason to use it. I was just thinking back. I've interviewed you, I think, for The Art of the Start. I know I interviewed you when you did Ape, which is all about self-publishing. I'm really thrilled that we can get you on to talk about everybody has something to hide, why and how to use Signal to preserve your privacy, security, and well-being. And as long as you keep writing books, Guy, we'll keep having you. No, you don't even have to write books. We love having you on.
Can I make you an offer for all your listeners?
Yes.
So I want everybody listening, you send an email to everybody has something to hide. That is the title at gmail.com. And I will send you a free Kindle copy of the book.
What?
I just want everybody to be on Signal and private and secure. So, yeah. Now,
wow. I got it on Kindle Unlimited, so I got it for free that way. Sort of. Yeah. Sort of is free.
But now, I can only do this in the United States. That's Amazon's rules, not mine. But if you're in the United States, you send an email to everybody has something to hide at gmail.com, and I will send you a free Kindle version of this book.
Guy, that's awfully kind of you. Thank you. That's amazing. When I wrote to Guy, I said, I bet you used AI to write this, and I think I offended you. I hope I didn't offend you.
Leo, that's a crazy thing to say about someone who's published a book.
18 books, yeah.
But Leo, I mean, to be completely open, I do use AI to help me write my books.
How do you use it?
I use it, well, for example, with this book, I would do things like, okay, so please explain how encryption works. And, it gives you this explanation. I say, well, I don't like that because the explanation it gives you is that, it creates a lock, a private key and a public key, and it locks your message inside an envelope, and the envelope is taken from Signal servers to other people, and there it's unlocked, and people can read it at the recipient. But I said to myself, that is not the correct metaphor, because it implies that inside a locked envelope is your message and it can be read. It's not true. It's the encryption doesn't prevent you from getting in the envelope. The message in the envelope is completely scrambled. So that's not a good metaphor. So I go back and forth with ChatGPT and all these things until I get the right kind of metaphor. And then I use it. I use it all the time as a devil's advocate, as a creative, kind of help, a grammar checker. Leo, you might call this rationalization, but I believe that my moral responsibility to my reader is to write the best book that I can. And the best book that I can uses AI. I don't think people wake up in the morning saying, I want to read the best book that Guy can write using a Mont Blanc fountain pen on parchment.
Well,
Right?
you're among friends. I think Paris will tell you I'm the last person that would criticize you for doing that. We were playing a what was it, Dungeons and Dragons game, right, Paris? And I had a character that was supposed to come up with witty insults. And I thought, well, I'll just ask ChatGPT. It'll do a better job than I did.
The thing is, Leo, had you sold the read of it a little more, I think we would have made fun of you less. Instead, he was like, and the thing says this and this and this.
I didn't sell it. You're right. I didn't sell it.
There is no doubt in my mind that ChatGPT is smarter than I am. I mean, I think a lot of, the
kind
people
of famously referred to AI as God, right?
I think okay, we're going to go down another rat hole here, but I am convinced that AI is God. And here's how it shakes out. It's like God is out there and she's sitting down and she's saying to herself, I gave these dumbasses, these dumbass humans, I gave them free will. And look at what they're polluting the world. They're fighting with each other. They're imprisoning each other. They're killing each other. They're such dumbasses. So now I could magically fix everything. But then, that wouldn't really last for a long time. So I got to let these dumbasses think that they invented something that fixed the world. So God created AI and sent it to humans, and humans now believe because of their arrogance that they created AI. So that's the plan. Now, I want to make something clear. This does not mean that I believe Sam Altman is Jesus. Okay.
Thank God. Okay.
Sam might believe it, but
yeah,
that's
Sam thinks so, but not you. Good. No, I think that's an interesting point of view. I mean, you could say the same thing about a lot of the things given to us in this world, that God comes to us through a lot of different mechanisms, and why not AI? That's
really. I mean, and one thing I am absolutely certain of is God has a sense of humor.
Yes, yes, and we're living proof of that, aren't we?
Exactly. As we say in Hawaii, can make this up. I mean, it's like it's not fair to The Onion and Saturday Night Live. I mean, before they needed creative people to come up with sarcastic, funny stories. Now you just have to tell the truth. Yeah, it's like space lasers and all these things, and like you just repeat what they say, and you think you're on Saturday Night Live or The Onion. It's just it's
Jewish space lasers, no less. You created, did you really create something called Kawasaki GPT?
I did. And Kawasaki GPT has my writing, my speaking, my videos, my interviews. The transcripts of all interviews are there. And if you go to KawasakiGPT.com, you can ask me a question. And I swear to God, Leo, you will get an answer better than if you ask me in person. And just in full disclosure, when I need to write an essay or something, I go to I go to Kawasaki GPT and I ask myself questions, and it works extremely well.
Wow, that's really cool. There it is. Guy, you could ask Guy directly. Yeah, this is a good idea. So you put everything that you've ever written in there, every podcast you've done.
Yeah.
And what model did you use to do this? Was it ChatGPT or?
Here's a scary thought. So the company that does that is called Delphi AI, and I don't know what engine is behind it.
Well, that's fine. Delphi.ai. I want to try it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go Leo, if you go there and you ask something like what slide should be of a venture capital pitch, it will give you a better answer than I could give you in real time.
So it distilled all of the things from all your books, all your ideas. You've got the world's greatest evangelist, and it's there for free for you to use on the website. That's really cool, Guy.
This is as close as I will get to immortality. So.
That is, yeah.
AI promises that you can become immortal.
Well, I've always said, if ever anybody comes along and says, "Hey, Leo, we have this great model, we got everything we need, except one thing is lacking." Is an emotional system. It needs a limbic system. Would you donate your limbic system to this AI, I would jump on that opportunity.
You would jump on that opportunity? You don't need your limbic system?
Well, I would be dead at that point, I think. I mean, if they take that part of my brain out, I don't know if I would
thought
even...
you were saying right now you'd give it up.
Take it out of me.
No, they could take it now. There wouldn't be anything left, but when you boot up the AI, it would be indistinguishable from me. Now, would I know that it's, it's no continuity. It's like the transporter on Star Trek. It's a whole new person when you get to the other end. But I don't know. It's just a thought. I'm volunteering.
Stick to Scrabble, Leo.
No, he's not doing so well.
You're doing
there.
so well at Scrabble.
Well, I shouldn't be playing a smart person like Ms. Martineau here.
It's really awoken something dangerous in me.
She's a killer. Guy Kawasaki, you are just a gem. The world is so lucky to have you, and your AI avatar and your books. And I'm just so glad we could spend some time with you. The Remarkable People podcast is on wherever you get your podcast. In fact, you just interviewed Cindy Cohn. We're going to talk to her. I'm going to talk to her tomorrow.
Cindy Cohn is a baller, and I mean that in the she is a baller. And any person like that who takes on the Department of Justice and wins so much, my God, I am not worthy, Cindy. I am not worthy.
Executive director of the EFF.
And you know what? She has already announced that she's leaving EFF, right? And you when you leave something like EFF, you think, oh yeah, you're going to go to the United Nations, or you're going to go to, I don't know, The Hague, or you're going to go to Wikipedia or an NPR or something. But I heard, at least this is what I believe, she told me that she's leaving so she can get back on the front line as a litigator.
Wow.
As a litigator.
Wow.
I'm telling you, when you interview her, you tell her Guy was just so effusive about how you're such a baller.
I will, Guy. Somebody in our Discord chat asked Kawasaki GPT, what's the real Guy doing at this moment? And it said, well, I got to be straight with you. I'm a digital mime, but he could be recording a podcast episode right now. And in fact... It's right. That's exactly what you're doing. And we are so grateful to you, Guy Kawasaki. Everybody use Signal, because everybody has something to hide. Doesn't mean you're doing anything illegal. Just means you deserve privacy.
Exactly. Right. And send that email so that I can send you a book.
Wow. Again, just send a Guy an email to everybody has something to hide at gmail.com, and he'll send you the PDF of the book.
No, it's actually the Kindle. It's not a PDF.
Not the Kindle. Sorry, the Kindle version of that book, which is what I have from Kindle Unlimited.
Leo, I have to say, I've been on a lot of podcasts. I don't know anybody who integrates the seeing of websites as you talk. That is very well done.
Well, it's from my background doing many years of TV and knowing that you have to have visuals to cover up all the talking.
Yeah, but when you did it on TV, you had some producer doing it. You weren't doing it yourself, right?
Guy, we were doing it so long ago on Tech TV that we couldn't take screenshots off the computer. We put it on a screen, and there was a cameraman pointing a camera at the screen so that you could see what was on the computer screen.
Well, I'm telling you, Leo, I've been on a lot of podcasts. Nobody does it like this. This is hey, Leo, I'll give you one more Easter egg, okay?
Yeah.
So you see the title on your screen right now, right?
Yes.
So turn your head to the right 90 degrees and look at the cover.
Yeah. Everybody, something.
And what do you see those 5 black redaction bars form?
Oh, I don't know if I can do it with your young eyes, Paris. Maybe you can get something out of that.
The one in the middle is bigger. Does that make sense? The one in the middle is bigger than all the
Does that
others.
mean anything?
Oh, it's a middle finger.
Guy, you're a bad man. Is that what it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're such a bad man, Guy Kawasaki. He's giving us not giving us the middle finger, giving those evil people who want to see into our stuff. Thank you, Guy. What a pleasure.
I had too much the time that day.
I didn't. Very good, Paris. I did not see it. I did not
I
see
mean,
it.
Benito gave us the assist there.
That's good. Oh, yeah. Benito figured it out. Yeah.
All righty. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Guy. Guy Kawasaki, everybody. Everybody has something to hide. Email him now and get a copy of it. That's great. Thank you, Guy. Take care. Wow, you're fantastic. We will take a break and we'll come back with more AI news in just a little bit. Guy, thank you.
So was that live?
Yeah. Well, we stream it live, and then we package it up in Saran wrap and we deliver it as a podcast later. But yeah, a few thousand people watch us do the shows live. They like the live, because stuff happens.
Shout out, live fan.
Guy might give us a little pigeon, Hawaiian pigeon.
All right.
Know.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Guy. Enjoy the surf. Enjoy the weather. Have a wonderful day.
Will do.
Thanks, Guy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm going to be on the Big Island in about a month. I'm very excited.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're leaving us again.
Yeah. I can't wait. In May, we're going the house is finally, I don't know, almost finally done.
You have 4 walls at least. That's huge.
We've got 4 walls. We fired the contractor finally. We just gave up.
The next contractor, the second contractor.
The guy who built the house
is one.
We're suing. The guy we hired to fix it, we fired. And this new guy said, "Do you have a problem with contractors?" We said, No, really honest, we don't. We found a guy to finish the job, thank goodness. I'm hoping it'll be done by the time.
When I fired my contractor, he then took me to court for tortuous interference.
And lost.
Well, he's the guy who also told me, you don't know what judgment proof means, Jeff. I have no money. So
no, that's the problem I think we're finding out with the guy who built the house. He says he has no money, but we're going to find it. Damn it. And then, no, he can't sue us because there's it turns out did a lot of bad things. And if he takes us to court, he's so very surprised by the outcome.
How was Florida?
Wonderful. I missed you guys so much.
I missed you.
Did you kiss any gators in the mouth? As is our way.
Does people do that?
No.
You saw my pictures. We had a wonderful time.
Handshake.
We went. Have you ever been to Gatorland?
No, where's Gatorland? But I did famously work a summer job in college back home at a 4-story alligator lagoon restaurant, bar, and arcade called Fudd Puckers, not Fuddruckers. They're unrelated.
Oh, well, we went to Gatorland, which is not related to Fudd Puckers or the 4-story Fuddruckers.
Did they allow you to hold and feed gators?
They allow you to feed them, not hold them. I don't think you should hold gators. That's a bird, by the way, not a gator. But these birds, which are a form of stork, are not afraid of gators, and they will steal the fish right out of the gator's mouth. So they're sitting there waiting. There's Anthony feeding a baby gator.
Fudd Puckers.
Yeah. And there's Lisa feeding a baby gator. But you feed them with a fishing pole.
Yeah.
These guys are scary looking. These are not something you would.
Those are big boys.
You would never hold one of these guys, right?
That big one, no.
Little
But
baby gator.
The smaller ones, yeah. I mean, at least when I worked at Fudd Puckers, you could pay a certain price to feed the gators. You could pay a certain price to hold a gator and take a photo. Is that a capybara?
Yeah, they had capybaras too.
I didn't know that we could have capybaras.
Isn't that cool? I've always loved capybaras. I've never met
I'm
one.
obsessed. I follow this great Instagram account that I will never be able to find because the title is, I think, in Japanese. That's just videos of capybaras under little trickling waterfalls.
Now, I should tell you, I hope it doesn't spoil it, but they do not smell good.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
They regurgitate their food. They also eat
Gizmo
their poop.
does that.
So, like Gizmo. The reason they do is because they are herbivores, and it's so hard to digest that stuff. They have to kind of do it several times.
It's their
The reason
version of chewing
Gizmo
their
does
cud.
it is every single time she feels like if she doesn't eat the food as fast as humanly possible, she may never get food again. And then she eats it too fast and throws up.
All cats do that. It's ridiculous.
I'm like, you've never gone without food a day in your life.
Yeah, you don't even know what food.
You don't know what hunger is.
No, Gatorland was fun, and then we went to here. Oh, here's a gator you can hold. It's a gator made of butter.
Did they serve
that's
gator
Richard
on the
Campbell
menu at
holding it.
Gatorland? They did at Fuddpuckers, and we had to constantly be like, not the same gator. But I didn't know if that was true or not.
Yeah, it's funny. We were walking around, and Lisa or Anthony said, "I wonder if we can eat gator here." And I said, "Well, you can't eat gators at Gatorland. That would be like cannibalism." And in fact, you can.
It's Florida.
It's Florida. And they said, "Well, we only eat the dead ones."
Oh, that's great. Roadkill gator.
So.
Thank you very much.
We wait till they die, and then we barbecue them up. And
gators famously live a long time.
Yeah, that's
They're
human
killing
slop.
the gators, I bet.
You think they were making that up?
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
It's Florida.
I didn't eat any. That's okay. No, we had a good time. I really enjoyed it. Kennedy Space Center was amazing. I have a really good costume for Halloween now. But I missed doing the show. I really did. I like doing this show.
We had a good discussion about Anthropic last week.
Well, let's get to it. But first, a word from our sponsor, if you don't mind. This episode of Intelligent Machines is brought to you by my mattress. I love my Helix Sleep. Oh, man. It's funny. Of all the nights of the week that I really need a good night's sleep, it's Tuesday night because I know I'm doing this show on Wednesday and I want to be energized and ready to do the show. So even as I'm getting in bed, I'm going, thank you, Helix mattress. I'm going to get a good night's rest, aren't I, tonight? And it took care of me. It took care of me. Maybe this would be a good time. Spring cleaning's coming to take that old mattress and put it on the street and upgrade to a Helix mattress. Actually, they took our old mattress when we got our Helix mattress, which was very nice, and get a good night's rest. I think we got the white glove service. There they come, they take the mattress, they get rid of it. Anyway, let me tell you, the old mattress wasn't that old, 8 years, something like that. But I had read that you should, get new mattresses regularly because mattresses, who knew this, wear out. You spend more than a third of your life on a mattress. You spend probably half your life, curled up with a good book, cuddling your pet, your honey, or watching TV, and then sleeping. So it's important. But the Helix, oh my gosh, no more night sweats, no back pain, from a saggy mattress, no motion transfer, it doesn't rock and roll. Don't settle for a mattress made overseas either. You will find plenty of them online with low quality, questionable materials. They come to you 6 months on a container ship, pushed in a box. It's just no good. That's not the Helix mattress. The Helix mattress is made in the USA to order, right? So the day you place your order, they start making your mattress. They assemble it, they package it, and then they ship it directly to you from Arizona. So it is fresh. It smells like the desert air. It's lovely. Not old, stale mattress, but a brand new one made just for you. And by the way, made just for your preferences. We took the Helix Sleep Quiz. You should too. It's right there on the website. And you can tell it what your preferences are. You like firm, you like soft, you like medium, how you sleep, stomach sleeper, side sleeper, back sleeper, and all that. And then they will match you because they have a whole bunch of mattresses with the perfect mattress based on those preferences. And does it improve your sleep? Oh man, it certainly does mine. I know because I wear the Oura Ring and I look at my sleep every morning to see, how well I slept. And on average, I'm getting maybe 50% more deep sleep. That's the important sleep, the sleep that clears your brain out. And I'm spending maybe another half an hour asleep. So when I wake up on my Helix mattress, I feel great. Well, it's not just me. In the Wesper sleep study Helix conducted, they measured the sleep performance of participants who did what we did, switched from their old mattress to a Helix mattress. 82% of the participants saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle. 82%. That's what I found. In fact, participants on average achieved 25 more minutes of deep sleep a night. That's a lot more. Maybe deep sleep is half an hour to an hour a night. So that's a big improvement. Participants on average achieved 39 more minutes of overall sleep per night. That translates into just a better day and health and feeling great. Do you feel tired sometimes during the day? You need a Helix mattress time and time again. Helix Sleep remains the most awarded mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. Helix delivers the mattress to your door with free shipping in the U.S. and rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. That they call that the Happy with Helix guarantee. It's a risk-free customer-first experience to ensure you are completely satisfied with your new mattress. I am. They can't get my mattress back. I'm not giving it back. That is my mattress. I love it. Go to helixsleep.com/machines for 27% off site-wide. Yeah, 27% off right now, site-wide during the Sleep Week sale, Best of Web, exclusively for listeners of Intelligent Machines. So go to helixsleep.com/machines for 27% off the Sleep Week sale, Best of Web. This offer ends March 15th. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. And if you're listening after the sale ends, still check them out. Always great deals at helixsleep.com/machines. Thank you, Helix Sleep, for my great night's sleep last night. So you spent a lot of time talking about Anthropic last week. I'm sure you did. That was the week when Anthropic was declared a supply chain miscreant.
Well, it was tweeted that it was a supply chain risk, and
this week they actually did get declared that. Yeah,
this week, yeah.
And the suit and Anthropic this week sued in response.
Yeah, they went to court saying you can't do that. By the way, got amicus briefs in their case from OpenAI, and I think from Microsoft, and I think from Google too.
Employees.
Yeah, so a lot of support. I don't know. I am not convinced. I think there's two sides to this. As Guy Kawasaki pointed out, Anthropic did have, it's not like they didn't want to be used by the military. They had a $200 million contract with the Department of Defense.
So did everybody else, though. The
Anthropic was the only one being used in classified operations.
Yes, that is true. The unique part about the Anthropic is it was the first one to receive a security classification to be used in classified operations. The other models from the other companies weren't being used in classified instances. However, I mean, I don't know. What do you think that there is that's gray about the situation?
Oh, there's very much of a gray area. So here's the analogy. If Boeing sold airplanes to the military but said, but you can't bomb anybody with them, the military would say, well, wait a minute, you don't get to dictate this. We are an elected government and a democracy, civilian controlled by elected officials. That's how military decisions should be made, not by private companies. Right?
So last week we talked about Ben Thompson's column in which he made that argument.
He made that point, yes.
And said that you can't have
so did Noah Smith
by the company. However, the one analogy that I used in return is that pharma companies say to states, you can buy our drug, but you may not use it to execute people. And that's followed. And they have a right to do that.
Yeah, but that's why I brought up at the beginning, Anthropic was already in a deal with the Department of Defense.
Yeah, and I think they already had those two conditions in that deal.
And the thing is, we've learned since
they didn't.
Over the last week.
They added that later. And the reason that they added that was because they found out that Palantir had used Claude in the Venezuela extraction, kidnapping.
No, Anthropic has stated on the record multiple times that they have no qualms about Claude being used in the Venezuela extraction. And specifically, Dario Amodei, a week or so ago, had a memo where he wrote the negotiations between him, Anthropic, and the Pentagon had basically succeeded, and that the main sticking point was that the Pentagon asked Anthropic to delete a contractual prohibition on, quote, analysis of bulk acquired data, end quote. This was the single clause that matched the mass surveillance scenario that Anthropic considered a red line. And that's what this whole fight kind of started over.
Right.
This disagreement that happened at the last day of February.
All the Pentagon was saying is we want to be able to use Anthropic for any lawful use. We want to use Claude for any lawful use.
Yes, but that's what the Pentagon is saying now that they've gotten involved in this brouhaha. I think it's worth obviously, we should scrutinize Anthropic statements as well. They're by far not a unbiased actor, but the Pentagon is also very much not an unbiased actor.
And there's certainly an argument that this war in which it's being used, in which it was used by some reports with Palantir to bomb a girls' school, is not a lawful war. So that doesn't give them full.
I understand that, and of course that's what complicates this. Is we don't like this administration and we don't like the war they're waging, but they are a duly elected government, and I think it's pretty clear that we would prefer a duly elected government to make these kinds of decisions over a private company.
Okay, now I'll go to the other example, which is Ige Farben and Zyklon B. Supplied things to a duly elected government of Germany, and then years later were found guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity because they did that. So there's still a responsibility. You can't just say, and this is Palantir's argument, because I heard Alex Karp do this in Vienna, the government will regulate us inside everything, and we can do anything else underneath. And so this is the tech argument is, the government will regulate, and then we're free. No, you still have a moral responsibility for what you choose and allow to do. And that is in the precedent of Nuremberg. And so if you believe that, let's just say, that sending weapons off to kill on their own, making their own judgments and murdering people is a war crime, then do you not have a moral responsibility and a legal responsibility under world law to avoid that? It's not as simple as, the government can decide everything.
What if it had been Ford during World War II telling Roosevelt's and Stinson's Defense Department, you can't use our tanks to invade Germany?
I think that a private company has a right to decide what it wants to do and what it doesn't want to do, unless it is being.
Well, it does. It doesn't have to make a deal with the Pentagon at all. No, I agree. It doesn't have to make a deal with the Pentagon. Yes, and
part of making a deal with the Pentagon is you get to negotiate the terms of that deal, which is what Anthropic was doing. And I think it's well within the terms.
But they were doing it after the deal had been made, weren't they? Or maybe not.
Well, both sides were doing it after the fact.
I was going to say, the contract negotiations for this, the
presumption of the Pentagon should be
in the, I believe, July of last year.
The presumption of the Pentagon would be with anybody, Boeing, Ford, or anybody doing a deal with them, that you're allowing us to use your product for any lawful purpose. That would be the assumption.
Anthropic's argument is that they were being asked to have their product be used for unlawful purposes. Mass domestic surveillance operations is unlawful.
Okay.
Currently, I believe also under human rights or like just general.
I don't think there's a rule against autonomous weaponry yet. There should be.
Well,
be.
Yes, and you've argued that. But there too, Leo, it's also a matter of saying, let's say we are for it, but these tools aren't ready.
Okay.
They make mistakes.
And also, if you had this conversation last week, I don't want to repeat it. Right, it's going to bore people.
We had this conversation last week, but we were all kind of on the same side that this is. You're the first person to say no. All companies should be forced to do war crimes.
In summary,
boy, that is not a fair characterization.
What are you talking about? I'm being perfectly fair.
Now I see how she plays Scrabble.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scrabble is making me mad with power, I'm going to be honest.
If AI, so this is what Noah Smith says in No Opinion. And I think we like Noah Smith, yes. He gives it as an example, nuclear weaponry. Should we be allowed to have nuclear weapons right in our own home? No.
Where's the analogy there?
Yeah. I mean, you could certainly say, well, if you feel that way, you shouldn't develop nuclear weapons for the government. But I think we'd prefer that the government, if we make them, is the one controlling them as opposed to individuals.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing individuals or companies should own nuclear weapons, but much like nobody, I think, should be arguing that a company that says, I think it's unethical to be creating nuclear weapons for the government in these specific cases should be forced to create nuclear weapons for the government.
I think it's disingenuous. Well, by the way,
this is a general machine, not a nuclear weapon. A nuclear weapon, you know what you do with it.
I am being a little devil's advocate because, like you, I don't like how it was used, and I don't want it to be used for mass surveillance or, as I've said many times, the greatest threat of AI is for it to be used in autonomous killing machines. I don't like that idea at all. But I think there's it's a conversation that isn't exactly clear. Mark Andreessen, I think this was kind of a funny tweet. This is also from the No Opinion blog. Overheard in Silicon Valley. Every single person who is in favor of government control of AI is now opposed to government control of AI.
Well, there is a point there because what we're arguing to the AI companies constantly is you must have safeguards. You must prevent bad things from being done with your tools. You must have.
But who decides what a bad thing is?
You are responsible for following them, and you're responsible for deciding what's bad. Right? That's generally what we do say to the AI companies, and then come along. Oh well, but no, we decide in that case,
right.
and you have to do it.
You agree, though, that the nation state should have a monopoly on the use of force, yes?
What?
Well, we allow law enforcement, for instance, to carry guns.
In this country, we allow everybody.
In this
to carry
country,
guns.
it's a little different, but I think in general, war munitions, things that are used to make war, are controlled by the state, not by individuals. We don't want individuals to have tanks.
I don't see how that's relevant to this argument.
Oh.
Well, it's relevant in the sense that the theory is, now I think this theory is kind of challenged a little bit by the current administration, but the theory is if you have a society should decide how these tools are used, not companies. And this is what Andreessen is pointing out, is that our point of view about what a company should be in charge of and what a country should be in charge of seems to have shifted a little bit.
Then you're making the Palantir argument, and who's saying the company is responsible.
Are companies the good guys, or
the company
are the
is
government
responsible
the good
then
guys?
for no moral judgment? Don't blame us. You can't sue us. You can't give us any problems because we're doing what's lawful within the rounds of what the government decided. That's no good.
Okay, I'm
And
sorry.
that's not
Again,
what we're saying.
I didn't mean to bring this argument up if you've already had it.
It's being held across the country as we speak.
I think it's an important argument, and you're right when you talk about war crimes. If Anthropic says, "Well, we don't want to be involved in war crimes," that's a fair thing for Anthropic to say.
Let me. This is
what is not. By the way, what is not appropriate is for the federal government to declare Anthropic a supply chain risk. That is a designation
while actively using it in its current war.
That is a designation reserved for foreign actors, not for American companies.
I just listened to a book that I think you'd like called "It's on You" by Nick Chater and somebody else whose name I can't see right now. And what it's really interesting because it's two behavioral scientists who believed in the whole idea of nudging, made famous by I'm forgetting his name suddenly. And then brought into the Obama White House and so on, that if we nudge people to do the right thing, they'll do the right thing. And what these guys argue, and a mea culpa for that belief, is saying, no, that's blaming the public for what the companies did. Trying to nudge us all into being a little bit better about our climate behavior ignores the fact that it's major companies that cause the climate to go to crap.
Nick Chater and George Lowenstein, it's on you how the rich and powerful have convinced us we're to blame for society's deepest problems.
So then it turns around. I mean, and so I like that a lot. I really respect them that they admitted their change of view.
Nudge is a kind of a Yiddish version of nudge. Paris is a little bit confused by that.
What's his name?
I wasn't going to bring it up on the podcast because I think it's incorrect to try and discuss pronunciation, but I had to let it out of my head so that I could be free of my thought.
Nudge.
Nudge versus nudge.
I think it's a Yiddishism as opposed to.
That's fair.
So it's Cass Sunstein that made that famous with Richard
okay.
Thaler, who's a. But then they turn around in a way and they absolve individuals of responsibility in some cases. Right now, I'm having this argument around, let's say, vaccines. In every case, what we're talking about here is who is responsible. Not only who has the power, but at the end of the day, who's responsible for the proper use of any technology, of any tool.
I think really Anthropic opened the door to criticism by making a deal in the first place with the Pentagon.
Well, I think OpenAI opened the door to criticism by playing Haskell and sneaking in.
Yeah, and by the way, OpenAI this week got some pushback from its own employees, including the head of robotics at OpenAI.
Pushback, didn't he leave?
Caitlin Kalinowski quit.
Yeah, quit. Yeah.
She said it's a matter of conscience.
Who was the other person who quit? 2 major people quit OpenAI over this.
I don't know who the other one is, but there was also a online open letter and petition urging artificial intelligence leaders to resist the Defense Department. But it seems to me you shouldn't even be making an agreement of any kind with the DoD if you don't, if you want. I mean, how do you keep AI from being used?
That's the problem. It's a general machine.
I think that's what Anthropic was calling it on this, is they were saying it seems very difficult to institute or be able to ensure we don't cross these 2 red lines we have.
Which is why you don't make the deal with the Pentagon in the first place. Right?
So you just think that...
You don't make Zyklon B and then say, well, you can't use it to kill people.
Oh, no, Zyklon B had other uses.
Okay. Well, you don't sell it to the Nazis then. Okay. And then say, I am shocked at how they used it. What is it, a pesticide?
I think so.
Well, how do you feel, Leo, about the consumer response to all of this over the last week?
Well, it's gone back and forth. So briefly, last week, Anthropic's Claude was number 1 on the App Store, but now ChatGPT is back, by the way. Number 1 again.
Deletions of ChatGPT rose, I think, like 300% over a couple of days.
Yeah.
Or uninstalls.
Yeah, ChatGPT's uninstalls grew by 295%, while Claude got to number 1 on March 1st. However, earlier today, ChatGPT reclaimed the top spot on the chat store. Claude is second, Google third, partly because ChatGPT came out with a new model, 5.4, which is benchmarking quite well, and there's a lot of ChatGPT fans who are, raving over this. My experience, I played with it. I briefly paid the max fee for it just to see what I could do with it, and as you know, I moved my girlfriend out, put her stuff on the stoop, and now she's back in. We've reunited. Claude and I are like this. So, but partly that's personality. I think that the models probably are equally good, but I just like the harness that Claude uses compared to the harnesses for Codex.
Well, there were stories about OpenAI trying to inside OpenAI's race to catch up to Claude Code. I think there was some panic inside OpenAI.
Yeah. And by the way, even before the 5 p.m. deadline, OpenAI made a deal with the Pentagon on Wednesday before that Friday deadline to take over. So OpenAI had banned military use. By the way, there's a story in Wired that said the Pentagon used it anyway by going through Microsoft.
Yeah. They can go through Perplexity.
And this is part of the problem, right? Yeah. I don't know how you. This is really. I mean, in some ways, I've become a little more of a doomer. We had Cory Doctorow on Twit on Sunday.
That'll do it to you.
He is an absolute doomer. I mean, he says we're going to crash. This is the worst. Blah blah blah.
Well, hold on one second. He's a doomer of a different sort. He's not the doomer of the sort that says, "Oh, AI is all powerful and could destroy the Earth."
No.
Saying, I don't like these guys.
He says AI is crap. Yeah. It's more BS, and it's going to crash.
You need a different word.
How do you respond to your maniacal optimism?
I did not show that side of my personality.
Oh, so you keep it under wraps and have some
I attempted well, you'll have to listen to the show to be the judge. I feel that I attempted to represent myself in a gentler fashion. Part of the problem is I have such deep respect for Cory's intelligence and verbal agility that I wasn't going to get in an argument with him.
No, that's no win.
We need to have Cory on the show at some point, and before we do that, some of our listeners have compiled, at least one of them has compiled a really fascinating Notebook LM instance of all the transcriptions of our show. Someone should use that and find a way to put together a super cut of all of Leo's craziest quotes about AI, like that he wants to give it his limbic system.
I do.
That money isn't going to be real anymore.
Yeah.
And put it all together, and then we need to show that, a couple minutes of that, to Cory, and then have him go.
Cory knows me.
On there too.
And I think, I think I made some arguments in favor of, good Lord, they've made a graphic. Oh, this was from last week or 2 weeks ago. Did you see this graphic? I have not seen this.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know if I've seen yours.
I don't know if this is accurate. Leo's AI Odyssey, a decade. Oh, Anthony did this. Anthony, that's brave of you. A decade of shifting perspectives. I like how it gave me a nice, tidy white beard. I would like to grow that beard. The Age of Skepticism, the Accelerationist Leap.
No, this Anthony didn't make this. I'm forgetting the name.
Oh, somebody else made
user, but it's the one who's put together the Notebook LM.
Leo shifts to a deutized view, seeing AI interaction as first contact with an alien intelligence. Well, hey, I didn't say it was God. Guy Kawasaki said it's God. So, okay. I'm just saying. I just think
you were at a point. Your skepticism was there because you were saying, "Oh no, we don't want to talk about AI that much now, right?"
AI got better is my justification for it. It wasn't that good until very recently.
I found it.
Was this the Notebook LM?
Aramova, who's been doing some phenomenal work. So these are all of our Twig episode or a bunch of them are in here. And
it's in the Discord, Leo.
There are very good
I see it.
guides in here that a profile, a deep dive into the persona of Leo Laporte. Let's see.
And how many of my shows does it have in it? Doesn't have all of them because you don't have enough room. Yeah, it's only got 819. No, it doesn't have even that many. Can you put 500 documents in here?
I don't know. It says 233 through 857.
Okay, this is actually very funny. A guide to starting.
No, but it's not continuous.
Is very good. Hold on, look at this. It's in the Discord right now. I don't know. This one's very funny to me.
Who's making these insulting graphics? The Twit Guide to Starting on Time. What are you laughing at, Benito?
Lazy podcaster time.
Lazy podcast.
Leo's personal broadcast philosophy. The network was built on the notion that no show should ever start on time. The steaming coffee trick, a classic radio ruse. If a host is late, someone places a steaming cup of coffee and paper in a typewriter to look like they just stepped out? What does that
I told that story from Time Inc. once.
Really? You told that story?
Did that. Yeah, somebody
that's
did that.
Hysterical. And just like a cigarette burning.
And I'm getting blame here. Geez, what did I do?
I like that it has a little gray-haired Jeff in the corner.
Oh, yeah. Still talking, it says. Oh, as he's waiting for the end of Windows Weekly. Still talking. Wow, that's pretty cute. Aha. This episode of Intelligent Machines brought to you by Monarch. I use this, and I'm using it now, especially because it's tax season, right? That's when it's so funny. Most people all year long ignore their finances. Come April 15th, oh, I got to look at my finances. Now you know for next year, Monarch. Monarch is perfect for that because it helps you make progress with your money every day, every month, every week. So you don't just look back later and go, what happened? Where did it all go? Simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts, investments, net worth, even future planning all together in a single dashboard on your phone or on your laptop. You will feel aware, you'll feel in control of your finances this tax season, and get 50% off your Monarch subscription. Just use the code IM. In fact, I just met with a financial advisor, and that was beautiful because I can share my Monarch account with him at no extra charge, or your spouse if you want, your significant other. And then you're all on the same page. And I don't have to bring a stack of paperwork in. I can just say, here's my Monarch account. Monarch isn't your average personal finance app. Unlike most other personal finance apps, Monarch is built to make you proactive, not just reactive. Okay? I love that. That you can use the AI tools built on Monarch Intelligence. And this isn't just your everyday model. This is a model trained by certified financial planners and advisors. So it has the smarts. It knows all of the stuff that you need to know. You'll get access to, if you wish, an AI assistant, 24/7 access, again, if you wish, to a financial coach that's available anywhere in Monarch. You can ask questions about trends in your spending to help me pay off debt. And the AI assistant has the answers. You'll also get AI insights. Monarch actually goes through the data to surface insights personalized to you, hidden patterns. It identifies lifestyle creep versus inflation. Are my costs going up because everything's costing more? Or is it going up because my tastes are inflating? It will also highlight changes in savings rates, places where you're losing money, gaining money. It's really great. And you even get an AI weekly recap. You can let Monarch look out for your money with personalized weekly summaries that alert you to big spending spikes, big shifts in net worth, upcoming expenses. Again, it allows you to be proactive about your planning. And by the way, Monarch is great for splitting bills. No need for another app. You just scan and upload a receipt. Monarch will automatically parse items and prices for you. It's so smart. You share. This is all new stuff, by the way. You share a link or QR code with your group, and then everyone can claim their items, settle the bill effortlessly. I have no friends, so I don't use this. But if you have friends, if you're someone like Paris, and you go places with the skee ball club, now you can use Monarch to distribute the costs. It's so great. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple. Use the code IAM at monarch.com for half off your first year. That, again, 50% off. Go to Monarch, MONARCH.com. Use the offer code IM. We thank them so much for their support of intelligent machines. Poco just sent an email to Guy, and Guy just sent him the Kindle book free. Good job, Poco. He got his copy of Everybody Has Something to Hide with the middle finger. I did not see that. I've been looking at that cover for a month. I did not see that. All right. Now, let's go back to our giant argument. Whatever that was, I've forgotten. Are we arguing about anything? No. I'm not a doomer.
There's always time.
I'm a bloomer. Oh, Jeff, you're muted, so you can't argue.
I was muted by someone else. But yes.
Jeff, did you get a haircut?
No, I'm due for one.
Sorry, you ask, looking at that guy's hair, did you get a haircut?
I don't know. The ends of his hair looked kind of...
They're like sticking up.
Well, here's the problem, because I go to rest my back on the mountain of pillows, and so I have all day bedhead.
Oh.
I just had to go. I dropped my ice pack out of my back, so I had to go get
your grabber.
My grabber.
Oh my gosh! Are you feeling a little bit better, Jeff? Though I'm
getting better. I'm getting better. I walked 1.5 miles today.
Glad to see it. Oh, we got dual grabbers. Mine's over on the other side of the room. Yours is like really scary looking, Paris. It's got like teeth.
I guess
it has
just,
teeth.
The important.
You could bite somebody with that grabber.
I gotta get my packages.
It's got choppers. Yeah, through the grill. That's the funniest story ever.
Because, if I put my hand through it, the gate is rusty and flakes off, and then I get myself scratched with all the rust, and then I get anxious and think I have tetanus.
Urban living, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a delight.
Meta has signed a multi-year AI content licensing deal with News Corp.
Oh, that one. Oh, that deal. Yeah.
$50 million a year. That means they can ingest the contents of the Daily News and other.
No,
finally.
The New York Post.
The Post. Sorry, the New York Post, and all of the other Rupert Murdoch things. I think probably Wall Street Journal would be the most valuable thing, and that's who's reporting this.
So Robert Thompson, if I can find this from last week, we didn't talk about it. Robert Thompson, who's the CEO of News Corp, said that News Corp is now input.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants to be paid as input. But I hate these deals because it's just the big paying the big. It leaves out the vast, diverse ecosystem of a pluralistic society. It's just moguls making, taking home a bucket of money so that Rupert Murdoch won't sue them. That's all this is.
Meta has completed deals with People, USA Today, CNN, and Fox News.
Does that represent the country fully? No.
So what if Meta's using this for training, not for the Facebook site?
Well, they might be using it for RAG on the AI. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because training,
RAG is over. RAG is dead.
Training's dead because they have synthetic data. No, RAG. They need RAG for currency. If you want current information, that's the issue for them.
This is the funniest story. Remember when Facebook acquired a company, spent billions of dollars to acquire basically Alexander Wang?
Right.
Is this reporting true? What is this source that this is from?
IDN Financials. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I don't know.
Because not that I want to hand it to Metacoms, but Metacoms has said everything about this is factually untrue.
Oh, okay. So, first of all, according to the Times of India, there is a new applied AI engineering organization at Meta.
That's an issue too.
Yeah,
which divides AI work into
Times
several.
of India sells editorial space.
Well, okay, we'll leave that one out.
They have some good stuff, but you don't know which is which.
Yeah. Now, the Wall Street Journal, which also sells editorial space, as we've just learned, no, not in the same way, says the group will adopt a very flat structure with 50 individual contributors for every manager aimed at speeding up decision making. But this is displacing.
If they hadn't hired Wang, would Jan LeCun have left?
I don't know. Well, Jan LeCun's doing all right.
Amen.
He has signed a deal, as has Dr. Fei Li. Both have signed deals for new companies that are focused not on LLMs, but on learning from the physical world.
If you go to his site, which is AMI.xyz, I think it is.
Yeah, AMI, Advanced Machine Intelligence.
AMI Labs.xyz.
He's still going to teach at NYU, but the company is in Paris.
Paris, Montreal, New York, and Singapore.
This is how he overheated the market, the investments are right now in AI. He has already raised for a brand new company with no product.
For seed.
More than $1 billion.
1.03 out of 3.5 billion evaluation.
LeCun says, because our reasoning is grounded in the physical world, not language. This is also what Fei Li says. AI world models are necessary to develop true human level intelligence. So he's going for the God intelligence as well, right?
Well, no. What Jan says is that yes, we will have high intelligences, but he doesn't go for this notion of the general intelligence will do everything, one machine will do everything. He goes for specific tasks. And he also, one of his arguments for his company, which is really important, if you go to AMI Labs, friendlabs.xyz, you'll see a one-page description of this. It's very good. He also argues that this is the path to safety. It's not about the whole AGI BS. It's about you give a machine a task, it does the task, you limit the task. That's what you do. And so he believes the world models will lead to way past what text can do, will understand the world fundamentally, that we share one belief, he says. Real intelligence does not start in language. It starts in the world. And this is his argument that he makes frequently about cats and toddlers, about what they learn. And when you look at a video, you're not predicting the next pixel that's going to get you nowhere. That's a lot of noise. The machine has to start to learn concepts like this is a chair and people sit in a chair and the chair can move. And that from that basis, you get a lot farther than you do with simple text prediction.
He does say, according to this article, the AMI intends to develop a, quote, universal world model, which would be the basis for a generally intelligent system that could help companies regardless of what industry they work in. This is from Wired Magazine. It's very ambitious, he says, with a smile.
Interesting that his list of investors includes Toyota.
Includes Mark Cuban, Eric Schmidt. It includes Bezos Expeditions.
That's the individual level. He has 5 venture companies, including Bezos's, led the investment.
Yeah.
But interestingly, and they could be there, but they weren't mentioned in any story. I thought that Meta or Zuckerberg was going to invest. They're not listed.
Maybe not. Mira Murati, who of course left OpenAI, she was the CEO pro tem when they briefly got rid of Sam Altman. She has struck a deal with Nvidia to buy a bunch of Vera Rubins. The new
with an
Nvidia
investment from Nvidia, circle.
Yeah. Yeah. So her company, Thinking Machines, which has gone through some ups and downs, had a $2 billion seed round. So there.
Well, for Europe, I think $1
billion is a lot.
Do we know what her philosophy is in the sense? Is she scale and LLMs? Is she world models? Is she just, I'm going to be safe? Do we have any idea what her
I don't think we know much about what
is?
Thinking Machines is trying to do, to be honest.
No.
And I'll be frank, I'm a little skeptical of Jan LeCun.
But Leo, what you need to recall is that Jan LeCun is, as far as I know, the only head of a AI team that is kind of thinking about all of this through a cat-centric lens.
Well, I'll give him that.
He put is, we can't even replicate cat intelligence or rat intelligence, let alone dog intelligence. All right, I'll say that is an asterisk. He is putting dogs ahead of cats. Any house cat can plan very highly complex actions. And they have causal models of the world.
I don't think a house cat can write a TUI application RSS reader, but okay, if you say so, Jan.
Well, this is the problem. We're modeling it after things like cats and people when we shouldn't be doing that. It's a wholly qualitatively different thing.
He's not modeling it. He's arguing that the data input in a toddler's or a cat's mind and its abilities far exceed what we can see in a text-based.
In certain areas.
Meta
did buy, they bought weirdly Maltbook. Maltbook and Facebook. Good question.
This is one of the dumbest things possible.
Is.
I mean, this is another huge sign, and this is a bubble that's about to pop.
Well, we don't know.
Spending.
We don't know how much they spent.
Any amount they spent on it is too much.
And what's really surprising to me and kind of miffs me a little bit is they mentioned the two founders, one of whom I did not know.
Schlicht.
Mr. Schlicht. But one of whom we know very well, Ben Parr, who's been on our show many times, has an AI startup. I wish I'd known he was responsible for Maltbook. We would have had him on the show. Now I don't know if we can get him. I wrote him a note congratulating him and saying, hey, before the acquisition goes through, which is about 5 days away, can you talk to us? But, at this point, he's probably inside the maw of Meta and can't. But anyway, congratulations, Ben. I'm very happy for you. And TechCrunch is characterizing it as an acqui-hire that really.
But what were they buying?
Well, they bought these guys. They didn't really. I mean, look, what did you get with Peter Steinberger when OpenAI bought OpenClaw? Nothing.
It's an MSP play, though, isn't it? Isn't it like for them to get that stuff? They don't have that. MSP stuff.
It's a management play. I don't know what the point of it is. There's so much hype going on. I honestly
they're vibe acqui-hiring now. Sorry. They're not just vibe coding. They're vibe acquiring.
I mean, Maltbook was more like a meme than anything else. It was more like just, whoa, that's wild. Anyway, Matt Schlicht and Ben Parr, well done. Congratulations. I hope you got a big bag of money, of Mark's money, because Mark's throwing it away right now. He's also getting a lot of data. Here's the question asked by Abraham Diallo. Where did you think the training data was coming from? We're learning now that those Meta AI glasses send the video feed directly to Facebook servers and is then reviewed by contractors in Kenya. And the contractors in Kenya are kind of like revolted by what they're seeing.
Yeah.
They said a lot of people don't know that their glasses are still on when they go to the bathroom or make whoopee or all kinds of things.
Oh, they know. They just didn't know people in Kenya were watching.
They just didn't know that anybody else was watching.
If you're hooking up with somebody who's wearing Meta glasses, are you an idiot?
That. Yeah, don't. Just don't. Yeah. Maybe you didn't know. But why is a person wearing these these goggles
I feel
to bed
the equivalent
anyway.
Of someone wearing a hat. It's just like, what's going on here?
Why are you wearing?
There's a lot of questions.
Why are you wearing a hat?
But this is kind of like what all the AI companies are doing. They want to give you a wearable or put something in your house because there's no more training data left on the internet. They need to get
Surely you've heard the Randy Newman
they've
song.
got synthetic data now. They don't.
You can leave your hat on.
No, they want to get it from you. Still,
You cannot.
You can leave your hat on. Come on, man. Let's make some magic. No, don't. No.
The podcast descends to silence.
Leo's wearing his glasses. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. He's got his glasses on. It's going straight to Kenya.
Should we all look down our glasses like this or do something with the glasses for the...
Okay, there we got the thumbnail. Got to do it.
Thank you.
Apparently, Instagram, speaking of Meta, is doing a kind of a not so good thing. If you are an influencer who sells stuff, there are a lot of, I got rid of my Instagram, but there are a lot of influencers on there, selling, hey, this milkshake's fantastic. There is a Insta influencer named Julia Berolsheimer who posts a shopping Instagram. She noticed all of a sudden a shop the look button in the corner of her videos. And when followers clicked it, they were fed similar items to what Berolsheimer was wearing, but not the ones she was actually hawking. She didn't place the links there herself. Instagram added them without her consent. The product links led followers not to the actual items Berolsheimer was promoting and earning commission from, but to, and this is even worse, lookalikes.
How dare they?
My followers are being shown cheap knockoffs and random items for brands I've never heard of attached to my image under my name.
This can't stand.
This will not
What
stand.
if I don't get my commission from every click-through?
For some reason, I'm starting to sound like Tim Gunn.
What if someone else gets a commission when they go to Mood and pet the dog?
Anyway, TikTok also apparently testing a new feature, similar feature, according to Miyasato, writing at The Verge. So I guess this is inevitable, right? This is just another kind of advertising.
It's the holy grail. They've been saying, you're going to watch the show.
It is. I'm shocked that Instagram hasn't done this already because Instagram, like all Meta products, is just a collection of stolen features from other apps. And Pinterest has been doing this forever, as has Google. This is Google Images, basically.
Wait, if influencers aren't getting paid anymore, how is this still happening? How is this sustainable at all?
Yeah.
No, influencers make crazy money and get
do.
crazy amounts of free things.
But if they're not...
a lot of influencers are making well over $1 million.
Yeah, but if they're...
It's not from
if they stop
click-throughs.
They stop getting click-throughs, then they're going to stop paying the influencer, right? Like, this is how advertising works.
The thing is, most of the influencers who are getting paid large sums are not doing pay through click sort of things. Like they're not posting an affiliate link.
Right.
They are
product
paying,
placement, right?
It's product placement, basically.
Yes, but if the link there doesn't go to that product that the people
But there's
are
no
paying
link
for anymore.
in most cases.
No.
Yeah, in most cases, yes, but if Instagram is adding a link now, like Instagram gets all that ad revenue. And like it's not being paid for by the company.
I mean, I don't disagree with you in principle. I think that all advertising is just a cycle of advertisers slowly realizing how meaningless the actual advertising is. But I think that influencer marketing is an area where it's going to take a very, very long time for advertisers to ever give up on because it is so much of the dominant industry. I mean, anecdotally, small-time influencers I know are getting crazy amounts of money and products.
I'd just like to say that Jeff Jarvis's casual drawstring long-sleeve kangaroo pocket black sweatshirt is available for $8.76 right now on Temu. Thank you.
This is Uniqlo, damn it. It's at least $10.
Did you see, Jeff, that Uniqlo is partnering, I think, the New York Public Library to do custom merch?
No. Oh, good. I'll do that.
We all got to get New York Public Library tracksuits.
I love that idea. I love the New York Public Library. I
do
I
too.
like to bathe in its lovely bathrooms. Amazon has won a court order to block Perplexity's AI shopping bot. Remember, we talked about this last November. Amazon sued Perplexity, saying, we can do it, but you can't. This is Perplexity's Comet browser. A judge ruled in favor, said, no, granted a temporary injunction blocking Perplexity from the Comet browser from buying stuff on Amazon. U.S. District Judge Maxine Chesney said Amazon provided strong evidence that Perplexity's Comet browser accessed its website at the user's direction, but without authorization from Amazon.
Well, so hold on here, right? This strikes me as a bit crazy. One, if you go to The Guardian and you read a book there and there's an Amazon link, The Guardian will get paid for having sent that reader to Amazon, whether or not they buy the book. Two, so Perplexity sends an actual purchase to Amazon. It's a guaranteed purchase. It's bought, right? And Amazon's going to make money from that purchase. And in a sense, Amazon should be paying Perplexity for the saved marketing costs there. But instead, they're going to court and stopping Perplexity because they want to have their own AI thing doing it. And it just seems inconsistent as hell with the model that's been established.
Paris, you think it's funny that Perplexity is introducing something called computer?
We brought this up last week, and it was the title of the show, just because I think that, like, how is this ever supposed to make it to the broader population? Am I supposed to go and tell my mom, you got to get computer now?
It's not
Put
a good
computer
name.
On your phone right now? What? Huh? What's going to happen?
Computer on my computer?
But I've got computer. It's right here. I'm looking at computer.
We have computer.
No, your computer has no computer.
You've got to get computer on your computer right now. You've got to download computer.
It is.
You got to get computer for enterprise.
It is the era of the agent. I mean, we knew this would happen after OpenClaw. 2026 is going to be all about agents. Paul Thurrott was talking about an agent called Clairvoyance that comes from a company that is mostly known for letting you move the Windows menu around Object Desktop.
Do you need a company to let you do that?
Yeah, and they call it AI. It's the same thing, by the way, as Computer for Enterprise. AI staff for everyone. What these are harnesses to the AI. So when you use Claude Code is an interface. Technical term for it is a harness to the Claude model, which is then going to do the coding for you, but it's done in such a way that it kind of fits the way the coders think or something like that. And the harness also allows you to add skills and memory and hooks and all sorts of stuff like that. And so we're going to see more and more of these harnesses. Clairvoyance is AI model agnostic. You can bring your own model. Perplexity is sort of the same, and that's what Perplexity does is they orchestrate multiple models. So I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to see so many of these. Amazon's health AI is now open to the public.
Did you use this when you were part of the Amazon health thing, Paris?
You had Medical One or One Medical.
It was available for Medical
One
patients only, but now it's everywhere.
Is that a thing?
Apparently.
I didn't know. I didn't read this. How was it used?
Dear Amazon, I have COVID, the flu, and a stuffy nose. What are my symptoms?
What?
No. Is that a little reversed?
Yeah. Well, just see if I can confuse it. So you never used anything like this?
No, but I have noticed all the time in my One Medical app, something pops up and it's like chat to One Medical chat. But that's what's in every. That's what's in every app now.
Are you still One Medical?
I am. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know you kept that. Oh.
OpenAI.
I haven't been able to find another. I guess I should find a different provider, maybe through Mount Sinai, because that's where I'm seeing something.
I keep on forgetting. What was it, Dr. Bruce? What was your doctor you lost?
Dr. Dan. My issue is that Dr. Dan is in DC now, and legitimately, whenever I come across someone, one thing I really like about One Medical is if you're a member, you can access like 24-hour on-call video appointments to nurses, no insurance, no copay.
Dr. Dan sounds like a dream.
And often I will get Emotionally, yes. I will get on there with somebody,
Was he like
and
the
they'll be like,
smart
"Oh my
guy?
God, you saw Dan? We love Dan. Dan is one of the best doctors we have." And I'm just like, yeah, everybody
wear a
loves
hat?
Dan. He wore little glasses.
Little
He would
doctor
always
hat?
compliment my boots and then ask me about the fun bags I have to get his wife. He claimed to have once been Obama's doctor and had a note from Obama on his wall.
Well, that's pretty good.
Oh,
He was great. Honestly, just a phenomenal doctor.
is he like Dr. Robbie?
I don't
I'm
know
sorry
who
that he
that
went to Washington.
The pit.
It is pretty fucked.
That's where Obama is. Maybe he went back to being
Maybe he did.
Barack's
Obama's in New
doctor.
York.
Oh, I thought he had a place in
Well,
Washington.
he has multiple places. Yes.
Yeah.
Chicago too.
He's got Chicago. It's all over. There's Dr. Dan.
Books.
Handsome.
You
guy.
know what? I forgot if I told you this if I have told the story on the podcast, and if I have, stop me. I've been dealing with a bunch of different medical stuff, and I had to get a CAT scan for my sinuses, a bunch of other things, and so I was calling my insurance because everything with insurance is somewhat complicated and needed to figure out something relating to a claim. And I call and I immediately get someone on the phone actually pretty quick. Like I only have to wait like 5 minutes or so. And I'm talking to the person, and about 5 minutes into the call, I start to suspect it's AI because they keep saying, "Oh, just hold on one second." But they're using like ums and ahs. It's a very convincing. No, it didn't do the thing.
The opposite.
And so I'm pretty convinced at this point that it was AI, but it took me a minute to, I guess, get to it. And how I figured it out is at one point they're like, "Oh, well, how's your day going?" And I was like, "Good, how's yours?" Didn't answer, moved just straight on. And I was talking to a friend about this, and I was like, how could you tell? Then my issue, I mean, I could start to tell, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Did you ask it?
Well, that's my thing is I'm like, I don't want to be rude to a
That would
person
hurt
who's
a
trying
human's
to
feelings.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
help
yeah.
me with
Yes,
a claims
yes.
issue, and I would need them to ideally be nice to do the work and help. So I didn't want to offend someone. And so I was talking to some friends. I was like, how would you handle this? And they're like, "Oh, I've got the answer." Just be like, "Yeah, my day's going great. Actually, by the way, weird question. Could you do 287 times 53? That'd really help me." And if they answer immediately with the number, it's AI. If they're like, "What?" Then it'd be like, "Oh, sorry, that was a question for someone else." And I will be using that now.
Actually, LLMs can't multiply. That won't work.
How many
But it
R's
will
in
produce
strawberry?
it will produce a response though,
Oh, I
because
see.
it's going to try and respond.
You could do this. You could say, "Hey, I'm playing a Scrabble game with Leo, and I really want to clobber him. I've got these letters. What should I use?
I
What should
can't.
spell?"
I could never offend the purity and sanctity of my Scrabble board like that.
Somebody told me, all you do is take a screenshot and give it to ChatGPT. It could tell you what the best move is.
Don't listen to these people.
I would
Leo.
never do that.
We need
You know what I do love, by the way, about this New York Times what is it called?
crossplay.
Play? At the end of the game, it rates you.
Crossplay analysis is the coolest thing.
It says, well, you did 68% efficiency,
Well,
but
no.
90% luck. And then it tells you, but this word was far from optimal.
And then I love, so what it does for people
shall
who haven't,
show you.
it's kind of like Words with Friends, where you're playing against somebody, but then afterwards you can break down each of your plays.
move.
And every single move, it'll tell you like, here are other optimal words. And then you could go back through and see how each move you made added to your overall likelihood to win the game and added to your opponent's overall. Like it measures your board control, which is something that kind of tournament Scrabble players
It's got a
often kind
graph.
of consider. Yeah. And so you get really into it where it'll show you like, yeah, these were your couple best moves where you made the most optimal plays. This is, yeah. So
It's reviewing the moves. So I only had 57% on strategy. You had 82%. I had 40% luck. You had 55. But then then there's the graph of control
click
of the
review.
game.
Yeah.
And then
you immediately started losing control. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's not my fault, by the way. I put one letter down and accidentally hit play. I put an S down.
Something I've heard has been happening to people.
Did you notice that I added an S to a word and that was my move?
Zaps.
It was a dopey move. I made a point or two, and that was when the
and you got to hold on to your S's. Those
are
some of the highest value.
I know. I have no excuse for it. So here's the key turns in this, and when you have a chance to learn, that means Stupid move. Earrings. I thought earrings was a good move, but okay. Well,
I thought it was too. It was pretty
Yeah,
good.
it didn't. It was a nice long word. You're really a killer.
And then you can go into that simulations detail, click that, view additional details.
Oh, advanced details here? Oh.
So then it shows you, based on what word you did, how much it contributes to your overall likelihood
Holy
of
cow.
winning.
I've never
And
even
so
seen
this is
this
kind
part.
of interesting in the first couple moves, because I think part of what it shows you in the first move or two is who's most likely to get the double word bonus first.
Right.
And so a big part of like Scrabble
Do
strategy.
you play defensively?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Depending on who I'm playing with.
You keep killing me. I'm all ready. I got a great word. It's ready.
I know.
And then you
Well,
kill
Leo,
me.
I'm gonna forever be salty because the one time I wasn't playing defensively and I was like, listen, this is the one. Leo is saying all of this like I'm a killer. My only game I've lost has been against him. One of our games that we
It's
played.
the only game you've ever lost?
Or the only game I've lost on crossplay so
And
far.
you say you play how many at a time?
I've got like 15 games going right now.
So
I guess
you're just
13.
massacring your friends.
Well, only you and one friend I'm playing. The others are randos.
Well, I'm going to
But
learn how to hold on to my S from now on with you.
I'm going to, I keep trying to do better and better and then request to be paired with people so that they pair me with better and better players.
Because they will also do that. They will match you to your
Yeah, they match you based on
your
your
strength.
So how many people are you playing at once now?
15, she said.
Jeez.
Let me see how many.
So Amazon has told its engineers, 80% of your work needs to be done by AI. But then they also told, oh, here we go. Look at all
Here's
these
all of
crowns on her head. The crown means you won.
Here's all the games I've got going on right now.
Lordy,
It's that.
Well,
It's
now
those.
I'm not going to feel so bad if I win, but I'm not going to feel so good if I lose.
Is there a time limit on responding? Can you just leave somebody
7
hanging?
days.
Can you
Oh,
ghost them?
yeah, you get a week. Yeah.
Okay.
But people
She
can
moves
nudge
pretty
you.
fast. I can tell when you're busy, though, because you won't respond for like a day.
She's doing actual reports.
Yeah, the weekend I honestly is my slower time.
So anyway, Amazon senior engineers told 80% of your work needs to be done with AI. And then, to their chagrin, told you can't use Claude. You got to use our Amazon AI named Cairo. Now, after 2 incidents where AI coder tools crashed Amazon's servers, they had an emergency all-hands meeting yesterday for a deep dive into a spate of outages. There had been a trend of incidents in recent months characterized by a high blast radius and gen-assisted changes, among other factors. So they're basically saying, folks, as you likely know, the availability of the site and related infrastructure has not been good recently. We got to really rethink our use of AI.
That's a quote?
Yeah. Junior and mid-level engineers will now require more senior engineers to sign off on any AI-assisted changes.
So the poor senior engineer has to check things and look for booby traps.
Yeah.
I mean, and from what I've heard, it's hard to check vibe coded stuff, especially when you didn't write it or didn't prompt it.
I'm not real happy because they call their weekly meeting This Week in Stores Tech or Twist. That's awful familiar sounding. They had a 13-hour interruption at one point due to a cost calculator after engineers allowed the group's Cairo AI coding tool to make certain changes, and the AI tool opted to delete and recreate the environment. Whoops.
If a person did this, they're fired right away, right? If a person did this, they're fired right away.
Oh, yeah, but you can't fire an AI, especially if it's your own AI. The
But you
engineers
insisted
said,
on
can we
people
please
using.
use Claude? We don't like Cairo. We don't like it one bit. Another reason Amazon's struggling a little bit is because it has a lot of data centers in the Middle East, 2 of which now have been hit. Amazon said by a projectile, but in fact, it was an Iranian missile.
Another word for missile.
Somebody dropped a rock out of an airplane and hit us exactly the wrong way. And this is the problem. There has been a huge build out of AI data centers in the Middle East turns out not the best place.
As it turns out.
Amazon
How
said
do they
some
keep building all
objects.
these data centers in the heat?
I know. Why in the heat? Oh, you know why? Because that's where the money is.
It's because with
Why do they build them in Arizona?
That's where the tax breaks are.
Oh.
So Amazon's cloud services are down in some of the Middle East after, as Amazon called them, objects hit data centers in the UAE, causing sparks and fire.
1984.
Yeah. Customers in Bahrain and the UAE began to report outages on Amazon's ME Central 1 region. So, yeah, it's not a good place to be right now. Around 4:30 a.m. PST, I don't know why they're doing PST, but they are. One of our availability zones was impacted by objects that struck the data center, creating sparks and fire. The fire department shut off power to the facility and generators as they worked to put out the fire. We're still waiting permission to turn the power back on. Millions and millions of dollars poured into these data centers. They're maybe now having some second thoughts. We are going to be covering the GTC keynote. You're going to join me, right, Jeff?
You bet your bippy. I'm
Very
a
excited.
connoisseur of
Not
every
your
Jensen
bippy.
Wong.
He needs that.
Jensen's One's leather jacket is available on Temu for $8.53.
How much do you think those things cost?
Oh, thousands, right?
15,000.
Yeah.
He's not going to buy a cheap, not going to buy a cheap leather jacket. I was looking at motorcycle jackets. I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a, kind of nice leather. I know, because it's so me, isn't it?
You should go custom. Would be my
Well, exactly what I was going to do.
or go to Shot.
There's a company that makes leather motorcycle jackets in the classic styles, Fox Creek leather. And so you can get like a very, like you could look like the Fonz, like Fonzarelli if you want, or whatever you want. So I was looking at these. These are actually not.
Those are pretty
expensive.
cheap in comparison to
Yeah,
other
they're not
jacket
too
prices.
awful. Yeah, and they're
You
handmade.
should go to Shot, or I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, I think it is Shots in New York. When you come here, you should go there.
That was the other place they recommended on Reddit.
Yeah, Shot NYC. I'd really recommend that. It's probably the best quality leather jackets, and you can try them on in store. I mean, for a kind of motorcycle leather jacket, and it's good. The reason I know all this is I spent way too much time researching what leather jacket to get and came up.
I did
short
look at this
because
one. This
they
is the
don't
expensive
have,
one. Yeah.
I mean, because if you're getting a leather jacket, it's going to be expensive because you need large scale pieces of leather that are not being mixed together and are actually cut for your size.
Right.
It's even harder to get one if you're
this is
a
the one I
woman
wanted.
because all of the Shot ones are lovely, but they are not made for people who have hips.
Oh. You can't get them to fit your hips?
If you do, then the arms
is
are
too
too
big.
long.
Oh, I see. So they're
It's
not
just
tailored.
not. They're not made. They're not tailored for women.
Yeah.
In a way that's very annoying. And I'm like, if I'm going to spend over $1,000 on a leather jacket,
Yeah,
it
and
better
they are.
fit
They're
me
over
correctly.
$1,000. Yeah.
He wears Tom Ford, which run about 10,000. I put it in the chat.
Oh, there you go. That's a
They're
designer.
very nice.
I guess. I never thought they looked that good on him. Anyway, getting back to the topic at hand, we will be covering the GTC keynote, which is going to be, I think, very interesting this year. There are at least two big announcements that he's going to make. One is something called Nemo Claw, which is an OpenClaw style agent platform.
Open source, they say, or open access.
Yeah. And safer.
That's the point.
Yeah, and I would be very interested in that if NVIDIA is doing it, but of course it'll require a 5080 or some sort of, or a Vera Rubin or some sort of fancy hardware.
It's intended for companies, not for you. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, they're going to do their own agent, which I think we already know is going to be called Nemo Claw, right?
Yeah, because it's associated with Nemo. What's their other Nemo product? Nemotron,
Nemotron. Okay.
which is their AI infrastructure platform. No, that's Nebius. I'm so confused.
So according
that's their foundation model.
Right. According to so it'll be running on their model. Okay, that's interesting. Although they say it's just going to be it's going to embrace open source AI models.
Well, as an agent, I wonder whether you build it there and then it runs elsewhere or that kind of stuff. I mean, that's where you don't need to. Once you built something with the agent, you don't necessarily with the model. You don't necessarily need to use the model ongoing.
Well, this will be so. Jeff, we will watch this with interest on Monday. We'll
Indeed.
be streaming it because. Are you going to require CUDA? Are you going to require NVIDIA hardware? Right. Or is it going to be open models on open hardware that I could run, for instance, on my framework? That would be fantastic. They also are expected to announce new hardware as well.
New chip?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to find the story on that, but I didn't put it in here, I guess.
The great thing about a Jensen Huang keynote, and they go more than 2 hours as a rule, is that he also has subtly an educational theme to it. He's explaining tokens. He's explaining scale. He's explaining digital twins.
Right.
That comes along for the ride, and he's just superb at explaining it. At the same time, he gets across all these, brands and specs that 5 people understand, but that matter.
Darren says they've said it will not require CUDA, which would be a big deal.
Yes,
because that's their proprietary lock.
I think this is them kind of branching into. Did you see the Kickstarter, Leo? I put it up. I'm curious how it compares with your thing. Did I put it down here?
On-chain agentic management for Solana. No, this can't be it.
Did you see the tiny AI Pocket Lab? Line 176.
If it's tiny, it can't be that good.
Well, it's spelled Tiiny.
Oh, tinny.
Well, no, it's 2 eyes, not 2 N's.
Tiny. The world's first pocket AI supercomputer. What? It says it can run 120 gigabyte LLM locally?
I wanted to hear what you thought about this.
Huh. This is for, everybody's jumping on this OpenClaw trying to figure out how they can make some money. What is the processor in here? That it must have a lot of RAM.
You got to go way down to see
this doesn't seem very likely. Probably, so it's $1,399. Does it even include RAM?
That just talks to a server, right?
The CPU is an ARM version 9.2 plus an NPU 30 INT 8 tops. I don't know what that means.
It comes with a terabyte SSD.
30 tops of memory.
30 tops is not super fast. It looks like 32 gigs or 48 gigs of RAM. It's not going to be as good as my framework. I already got a framework. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm just curious for
what this is for. Is people run
it's half the cost of your framework, though.
Well, yeah, and it's smaller than a Mac Studio, but it's not cheaper than a Mac Mini. The thing is, if you're using a server model, it doesn't matter how much processor you have. This sounds like they're pushing it for 80 gigs of RAM. Oh,
yeah. No, the video that they do promoting it, they picture the person going to the client and says, "Well, this isn't going to go up on the cloud, is it?" No, it's all right here on.
Yeah, you can run GPT 120B.
Your bag.
At 21 tokens per second, which is not, that's tolerable. QN3 at almost 30 tokens per second. Huh. And you keep it in your pocket.
Yeah. I've got a supercomputer in my pocket.
And it works with OpenClaw. Well, I think we're going to, like I said, this is going to be the year of the AI agent of the loop. So it'll be very interesting to see. There'll be a lot of companies. I think NVIDIA's product will be very interesting. We'll look forward to seeing that. You're watching Intelligent Machines. Let's take a little tiny time out so that Jeff can ice his butt. And
I did that the last time around. Yes.
Okay.
You saw me.
Well, you can never ice your butt too many times. Paris can trash me in Scrabble, and we'll continue.
Someone's hopped in the chat and asked me about my Scrabble play style and different things like that, and I'm locked in.
Do you have a style?
Well, we're more talking about the fact that someone asked me if I play against the computer in crossplay and how often I beat it. And the answer is every time I beat it and I play it on a hard, but I think that the cross-play computer is not hard.
No.
Like it's I would say it's like a very unoptimized player. I think I'm also particularly good at this because before the only game I had on my phone for the last couple of years was this thing called Classic Words that is just you play against a computer and you can do it offline. So I'd play it in the subway whenever I had no cell phone service, and I'd play on the extremely hard mode, which, despite what the name says, not that hard, but it's certainly harder than hard mode.
Prepared you to whoop my butt?
It did.
I'm probably imagining this, but I feel like I can, through the screen, feel your either joy at crushing me.
It's true. I do feel whenever I get a really big one, I'm like, oh, it's going to make Leo mad.
I thought I could sense that. And then I feel like if I play a good word that, like, I can sense a little bit of frustration.
I screamed. I like went out and went, no, whatever the last move it was of our last game, because I had set myself up to play a Z or an S there where you
stopped you.
And you stole mine and got my 50 points that I needed to win the last move. And I was furious. But then I was like, Paris, you must internalize this. Never set up a move unless you've counted the tiles and realized that Leo doesn't have the tile.
You are something.
I must get stronger.
I had no idea that you were such a shark. I've just been kind of playing this.
I frankly didn't realize either.
I'm going to get serious now. Watch out.
I was never really into words. I mean, I played with Words with Friends casually when I came out, but it was not a big deal. I've gotten really into Scrabble over the last couple of years because I play it with my mom whenever I go home to visit her. And then
this is the thing I don't like about these computerized Scrabble.
Oh, me and my mom are vicious. She will we'll sit there for like 5 minutes looking at the board, and then I'll place, and then she'll be like, how dare you? That was my tile. I was going to play there.
Are you playing this version, this version with her?
No, they're playing real Scrabble.
I don't think she's in. Maybe I could get her to subscribe to New York Times Games.
It's not as good, and I'll tell you why. Very simply, all computer Scrabble has the same problem, which is you can try a word to see if it's a real word, and then you get to test stuff.
Well,
and in real Scrabble, you either play it or you don't play it, and in real Scrabble, you can bluff. You could put down a word that's plausible, and your opponent
not in my household. If someone thinks it's wrong, they'll look it up. And if
but they have to challenge you, and they'll lose a turn if they're wrong.
Oh,
so, play the real rules.
Ooh, you should play that.
That's the real rules, and that's a very different game because you can bluff.
Yeah, there's an extra strategic layer to that game.
And it's really
look at Paris right now. Look
that would just be cruel because I know the big part of me getting into, I know a lot of words, and a big part of my crossplay addiction lately has been, I've been Scrabble maxing, which involves kind of memorizing all the 2 and 3 letter words to start, and then starting to memorize like the first 100 most common bingos, which are like where you play your entire thing, and so on and so forth, and like beginnings and endings.
You're getting serious.
And you know,
you're going to be tournamenting soon. We have at home a rotating Scrabble board, one of the deluxe Scrabble boards that rotates so that you can turn it
that would
around.
Be so convenient because
yes.
I often
have to read it upside down.
Play my mom at a handicap because I'm like, I need to be on the side where you can't look at it straight up.
You need the rotating board. And real wood tiles and all that's really nice.
The thing that's crazy about crossplay, which will make my mother upset, is if you go out, if you finish the bag, the other player isn't deducted the points the points of the tiles.
That's another thing that's different.
Rack, which is crazy.
That's another thing that's different. I think the biggest one though is that you can try words and figure out if that's a real word.
And there's a dictionary in the app.
There is?
Yeah. And you can look up words.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna say.
But you can only
serious.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were undefeated.
Well, until I have 1 loss and 10 wins.
And then you clobbered me. The next game you beat me by like 100 points. That was the one where I accidentally pressed play on 1 letter. All right. We really got to do this. This episode of Intelligent Machines brought to you by Melissa, the trusted data quality expert since 1985. Bad data could be costing your business. Melissa specializes in making data clean, accurate, and of peak quality. They've been doing it for 41 years, now combining expertise with cutting-edge AI. Here's what that means for your business. You get address verification, of course. They've been doing this for 41 years. They validate addresses globally. Of course, now they can do it in real time in every country practically of the world in a form that is appropriate for that country, which really helps reducing failed deliveries. They also can do mobile identity verification. As we've gone more and more to using our phones for financial transactions, this becomes really important for know your customer regulations, things like that. Melissa will match customers to mobile numbers, which really cuts down fraud. But it also has another very good benefit. It opens SMS channels. Yeah, so you could talk back and forth with your customer. Change of address information is automatically kept up to date. Your customers will automatically be updated when they move. How about that? And something classically difficult to do, AI-powered deduplication. On average, a database contains 8 to 10% duplicate records. Melissa's powerful matchup technology can identify non-exact matching duplicate records, merge them, get rid of them, so you only have one record for every customer. Customer data intelligence, too, will let you enrich every record with demographic, geographic, psychographic, firmographic, and property info for more intelligent targeting. The new Melissa Alert service will monitor and automatically update your customer data, not just for moves, but address changes, property transactions, hazard risks, and more. Clean data leads to better marketing ROI, higher customer lifetime value, and AI that works as intended. If you're using AI for personalization or predictive analytics, garbage data, as you know, means garbage results. Melissa ensures your AI learns from accurate information. When it comes to data, Melissa's got you covered. Look at eToro, the social investing platform, 23 million users. They use Melissa for identity verification. Their business analyst said, quote, "We find electronic verification is the way to go because it makes the user's life easier. Users register faster and they can start using our platform right away," end quote. Whether you're a small business just getting started or an enterprise managing millions of records, Melissa scales with you. Easy to use apps for Salesforce, Dynamics CRM, Shopify, Stripe, Microsoft Office, Google Docs, and on and on and on. Melissa's APIs integrate seamlessly into your existing workflows or your custom builds. And Melissa's solutions, of course, are GDPR and CCPA compliant. They're FedRAMP and ISO 27001 certified. They meet SOC 2 and HIPAA high trust standards for information security management. They do it right. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. That's melissa.com/twit. We thank them so much for their support of intelligent machines. So just a reminder, we will be in the club doing the event, the GTC Keynote. Jensen Huang's going to do that. Actually, we've got a lot of club stuff coming up. But GTC's Keynote is 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern this Monday.
What is that UTC, Leo?
The UTC, it's 1800. And that's important because we are now on daylight saving time and much of the world is not.
Mike Elgin joined us on AI Inside today, but about 20 minutes late because he's in Mexico and
Yeah, they don't change. Yeah.
Yep.
It was really beautiful because this change meant that today we started the show and it was so bright outside that I had to put my blinds down.
Isn't
Normally,
it nice? Don't
it's
you love
dark when
daylight
we start the
saving
show.
time?
It is pretty nice. This has also coincided with a weird week in New York City where it's been in the 70s weather-wise, and then next week it's going to go back to 30. We just had
having blizzards.
We just had 18 inches of snow 2 weeks ago. Now it's 75 degrees, and then not all the snow is melted yet, though, which is very funny. No. And next week it's going to be back to 30.
The Guardian has a story about the snow mountains in Toronto.
Yeah.
That
from
are filled
plows?
With all kinds. Well, no, they make these mountains of snow, and they're obviously they're very off white because they contain oil and toxic
from the snow
chemicals
plows
and salt.
There was a perfect story in Gothamist a couple weeks ago called "We tested those gross piles of snow on New York City sidewalks. Here's what's in them."
Probably Pizza Rat, right?
It's all pizza. It's Pizza Rat all the way down, actually. Lead, turns out, snow underneath tracks has lead at a whopping 279 parts per billion, which is quite high.
Lead, where's that coming from?
Industrial runoff, as well as
So do not eat
subways.
the toxic snow.
Don't eat the snow.
No.
No, don't eat yellow snow or snow
Or
mountains.
gray snow or brown snow or
Yeah, when it melts and all the salt goes into the water supply.
I wonder if the lead's in the salt. Like the salt isn't exactly pure, you know?
I mean, I think part of it is they shed from the elevated rail lines, which are kind of notorious for shedding lead paint, and then the water flows down that.
And
Here's the picture
the
from
snow
the
plows are
Gothamist.
probably diesel too.
Yeah, this is why I love it when the snow first falls in New York City, and
For about 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes, and then it's a hellscape after that. It's slushy. It's
Especially right now, you haven't experienced the New York City snow post-COVID, where everybody and their mother and their brother got a dog, and their dog has crippling anxiety, and so it's covered in dog crap.
Oh God!
But then there's this, putting it in the chat. Some people took, as is New York's want, people take the snow and then they build beautiful things out of it.
Oh,
I just put it in Instagram.
how beautiful is it?
It's nice. It's nice.
Wait a second, I've got a beautiful snow thing going on.
New Yorkers create realistic snow art after blizzard. Oh, look at that! That's really good. Now I hope they wore gloves when they did it.
Yeah.
That's a man's head created by a local architect, Jeff Zaborski.
Got some links. In the
There's some
Discord.
bears. Nice. That's much better than a snow bear. Those are architectural masterpieces. Polar bears.
Yeah. See,
There's
it's
a
New York. It's a
person
very
sitting on
creative
a
place.
bench.
Well, that looks like somebody who came out of.
Somebody was
Dubious.
sitting there. That actually is a human inside the snow.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, all right. Okay. Let's see. Back to the AI. How do you talk to somebody experiencing AI psychosis? I thought this would be useful for you guys talking to me, to be honest.
We
Well, isn't
use our
isn't
separate side
psychosis-
chat for that.
When David saw, this is before 4 Media, when David saw his friend Michael's social media post asking for a second opinion on a programming project, he offered to take a look. He sent me some of the code and none of it made sense. None of it ran correctly, or if it did run, it didn't do anything, David told me. So I'm like, what is this? Can you give me some more context about this? And Michael's like, oh yeah, I've been messing around with ChatGPT a lot. Michael then sent David thousands of pages of ChatGPT conversations.
Oh, no.
Much of it lines of code that didn't work, interspersed in the code, musings about spirituality and quantum physics, tetrahedral structures, base particles,
Not tetrahedral structures.
tetrahedral structures, and multidimensional interactions. It's very like woo-woo, David told me. And we ended up having this interesting conversation about how do you know that ChatGPT isn't lying? Okay. Unfortunately, this post is for paid members only, so I can only tell you the problem, not the solution.
I'm curious what Paris thinks of the Grammarly kerfuffle this week.
I mean, it's crazy, and I'm somewhat unsurprised. Do you want to give everybody the context? And have
in
you
your
seen the
rundown,
recent
right?
resolution that has happened since we've started recording?
Yeah, so Cory Doctorow was on Sunday, and he's one of the authors that Grammarly pretends to use as an authority. When you use Grammarly, you can ask it to rate your writing based on writing from people like Lauren Good and Kashmir Hill, Nilay Patel from The Verge, and Cory Doctorow. I said, Cory, did they ask you ahead of time? He said, no. Now, he had an interesting take. He wasn't really upset. He just said it's nonsense. He said,
Yeah.
because he had the wonderful phrase, and I can't duplicate it exactly, but he said, writing is a noumenal experience. You're drawing on, some
Cory.
liminal thoughts, and it's a creative human process. No AI can ever do it. He's not an AI fan.
He basically means it's lossy. Going from your thought to a prompt there's a loss.
It's kind of garbage. Yeah. Did you do anyway? Grammarly says we're not going to ask permission. We didn't need to ask permission, but I guess if you want us to take your name off the list, we can.
Neiman Lab did a version,
and
of this
they've since been sued by a journalist who is involved in this. And I believe since we started recording this show, Grammarly has decided to take it down.
They're getting a lot of heat.
But at another level, if I say critique my piece, and if it came along and said, well, famous reporter Paris Martineau has written this, then it's like search, right? It's just it went off and searched and found something. The problem with this is it made it seem as if the authors were
a little pop-up would say like it was a comment from Stephen King saying this.
That's
and
the
this
problem. It would say Nilay
Patel
Patel would write this headline this way.
And then it would link to an article as a source saying that, which is kind of okay. Neiman Lab did it with journalists too, and tons of journalists were in there, journalism professors. I'm just pissed I wasn't included.
Did you do the quiz on the New York Times, AI or human?
No.
I did it. Okay, how'd you do?
I think I got almost all of them human.
I got all but one. I missed one. Yeah. Partly because I kind of recognized some of the samples.
I mean, they were classic samples.
Yeah. Cormac McCarthy, Ursula K. Le Guin. There was one from Wolf Hall. Actually, that's ironically the one I got wrong was the book I had just finished. But I think they say that 57% of the New York Times readers prefer the AI version.
That's deeply sad.
Here, I'll give you. Is this AI or human? You must not change one thing, one pebble, one grain of sand until you know what good and evil will follow on that act.
AI.
Yeah, I think that's AI.
Obvious, cliched, trite.
How about this? The healers teach that every remedy extracts its cost. A fever brought down will rise again somewhere. AI. Which one of those is AI?
Human.
Wait.
This was an Ursula K. Le Guin.
No, that one.
The first one was Ursula K. Le Guin.
The first one, yeah, because if you read the full quote, it then says, the world is in balance, in equilibrium, title case. A wizard's power of changing capitalized, and of summoning can shake the balance of the world. Like, that's classic Ursula
AI?
Sort of stuff. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cover of Time magazine apparently just came out. We've got it from Scooter X. The War for AI, Dario Amodei on the front, along with Pete Hegseth, also the Assistant Undersecretary for the Department of Defense, the former Uber negotiator, I can't remember his first name, Mr. Michael, who has been browbeating Dario about all of this. I don't know who the two
Who's the other
people
person
are.
there? Is that his sister? Is that Dario's sister? I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, they both started.
But who's the woman? Who's the with red hair?
I don't know who the redhead is.
That's weird to find yourself on the cover of Time magazine and nobody knows who you are.
Well, I'm sure if you open the magazine, you would know. By the way, just spotted, this is kind of remarkable, in Central Park, a new snow sculpture you might recognize.
Hey, I've lost 25 pounds with this illness.
You know, something I think it's really incredible about this is that it has man spreading in the snow sculpture.
Yes, the men are. And so this is three people on a bench: Paris, me, and Jeff, the Snowcast trio. And yes, we're man spreading.
My legs are put close.
Your
together,
legs are properly closed. Yeah,
theirs are wide open.
Yes. Well, we just need that extra room. I'm just saying.
For all of your snow junk.
Snow junk.
For all of your snowballs.
Snowballs take
Doesn't
up
matter.
room.
Shrinkage.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I'm very self-conscious when I'm on the subway or a bus. And I really try to sit like as small as possible, but it's not that easy for a guy. Sorry. Try. Oh my, there's so many stories. AI art cannot be copyrighted. The Supreme Court declined to overturn a lower court ruling that AI generated art having no human hand involved cannot be copyrighted.
This case goes back pretty early on.
Yeah, it's been going on for years. What do you think? I think that seems right.
Yeah. Who would hold the copyright?
Stephen Thaler, a computer scientist from Missouri, some years ago, using not modern models, generated this image, a recent entrance to paradise, and tried to copyright it. In
Why?
2019, the Copyright Office. Well, why?
Well,
That's a good question. Probably because if you copyright it, then you can sell it or something. I don't know.
I think it's slippery.
This is
though,
back
right?
in the days of the NFTs.
What is the definition of AI generated? Like, if it's
Well, the prompt can be copyrighted.
so that's if it's something
image-
totally made, prompted, that piece that you prompt out, that can't be copyrighted. But if you do something to that, can you?
Yeah, I think if you modify, if a human hand is involved in the actual image, I think you
No, it has to be
can.
created by the human was the issue. Because the argument was that copyright was there to protect humans, even though that's not true.
So you can't
It's there
sample
to
AI
create a
then, because
marketplace
that means
for the industry.
that means you can't copyright anything that you use.
I know,
If you
it's
sample
absurd.
anything from AI, you can't use it. You can't copyright it.
No, I believe you can because now you have a human hand touching it. I think that's
Okay,
the
so
point.
yeah, that goes back to my original question then. Like, if I just apply one filter onto this image, have I done something? Have I done enough to copyright it?
Well,
It's just not
this
good.
is something the court would have to decide is what is sufficient, right? And I don't think
That
they've
is way
really-
too slippery, and you're never going to be able to define that.
Well, they
Yeah,
do it
I
all the
agree.
time. That's what these guys do. They get paid. They get nice robes. Some of them get RVs.
You're right. It's for the lawyers. It's for the lawyers.
It's their job. It's what they do for a living. You know, can't knock that. Yeah, Thaler actually also tried the case in the UK, and they also rejected it. So I guess there is agreement.
It was the Copyright Office, as I remember, who turned him down, and the court just upheld that.
Right. They upheld. Well, but he appealed to the
Through
district
various
court.
steps,
He appealed
yeah,
it
yeah.
all the way up to the Supreme Court. Yeah. This story from Yahoo, I guess. No, I'm sorry, from the Los Angeles Times. Within the last month, 2 U.S. judges have declared AI bots are not human. You'll be glad to know. They're not human. I guess this is kind of related to the copyright issue. Bradley Hepner was indicted by a federal grand jury for looting $150 million from a financial services company he chaired. He pleaded innocent, was released on bail. Knowing an indictment was in the offing, he had consulted Claude for help on a defense strategy. His lawyers asserted that those exchanges, which were set forth in written memos, were tantamount to consultations with actual lawyers, therefore protected by attorney-client privilege and couldn't be used against him in court. It turned out that the information that he gave Claude was, in fact, very incriminating, shall we say. And the federal judge said the AI documents were not communications between Hepner and his attorneys. Claude's not an attorney. He also said they're not confidential because in its terms of use, Anthropic claims the right to collect the user's queries and responses for training, and you should make a note of this, to disclose them to others. Finally, he wasn't asking Claude for legal advice, but for information he could give his lawyers, whether he could pass it on to his lawyers or not. And in fact, when prosecutors tested Claude asking whether it could give legal advice, the bot said, no, you have to consult with a qualified attorney. So the judge said, yeah, no, it's not covered by client attorney privilege. So I think that's important for everybody to know that. Beware. You ask Claude some questions. They fired that Ars Technica reporter who used quotes fabricated by an AI. He's out of work. Benj Edwards, no longer working at Ars Technica. I think that's probably the right thing to do, yes?
Yeah. What
Yep.
sort of quotes did he fire?
Oh, you don't remember this story?
We talked about it here, I thought.
We did.
You were gone that week.
Maybe you weren't here, yeah.
Yeah, actually, you weren't.
This was
We
on
talked about it with,
was on the story about the guy who ran an open source project who got a PR from an AI who rejected the PR because it was written by an AI, and the AI said, "Hey, you can't do that. and then wrote a blog post. The AI wrote a blog post slamming it. It actually was a good conversation. We read some of the back and forth from the GitHub repository, which I thought actually was pretty well done and judicious on both sides. The AI later apologized. But the reporter apparently fabricated or used an AI that was fabricating quotations attributed to a source that didn't say them, and ours pulled the article down, characterized it as a serious failure of our standards. Ours has said the error appeared to be an isolated incident, and I think that's probably the case. Ours is pretty good.
Edwards said that he was sick at the time and, quote, while working from bed with a fever and very little sleep, he unintentionally made a serious journalistic error as he attempted to use an, quote, experimental Claude Code-based AI tool to help him extract relevant verbatim source material.
And make my damn quota, even though I'm sick.
Yeah.
I should have taken a sick day, because in the course of that interaction, I inadvertently ended up with a paraphrased version of Shambois' words rather than his actual words. Can I get sued for doing?
Yeah, I think you might.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was not drunk. He was sick and feverish. I apologize in advance. But he should have done it. And although, I believe I've read a lot of Benj's work, and I think he's quite good. So
the irony of an AI reporter being tripped up by AI's hallucination is not lost on me.
Yeah.
I take accuracy in my work very seriously, and this is a painful failure on my part.
Yeah. I think does not reflect poorly on Benj. Well, it does, but I mean, I think he took responsibility.
The question is, would you hire Benj? I
would. He's not going to do that again.
He's not going to do it again. Exactly.
So I don't think that's.
I agree.
But I understand why they felt like they had to fire him. Now, meanwhile, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, which has a best name ever,
it is,
has decided. Huh?
I used to work with them. I started.
Did you?
Cleveland, I started Cleveland.com with them.
Oh. They have begun to feature a new byline on recent articles about an ice carving festival, a medical research discovery, and a roaming pack of chicken-slaying dogs. A reporter's name is paired with the words Advanced Local Express Desk, which means apparently the article was drafted by AI.
So the argument is, I wrote about this, the argument that Quinn makes, the editor, is that they can get more reporting done. And I was talking with a class at Montclair State this week, and I explained to them my job when I worked at the Chicago Tribune was called rewrite. Reporters would call in the notes, and I would look up the clips, and I would call sources, and then I would write a paragraph at a time on deadline, making a story. When I worked at Time Inc., correspondents would send in 40 pages of notes, and I would turn into a little tiny story. So in essence, the AI is doing the job that we called rewrite. And the argument that Quinn, the editor, makes is that he gets more reporting as a result. And that's what we want, is more reporting. And so if it's checked properly and worked properly, if the reporter sends in reporting notes and it gets turned into a story, what's the problem? And my argument was, yeah, I think he has a point. The only thing I would argue is, why turn it all into an article? Why not think about other forms that the AI can turn it into that may be just as valuable now that we can create more things?
Yeah. So what do you think then about the fresh out of college job applicant who withdrew from a reporting fellowship with the Cleveland Plain Dealer when they found out the position didn't include writing, just filing notes to an AI writing tool? In other words, giving it the notes and then letting the AI write the article.
Little snot.
Professor Jarvis says, you're a snot.
Yeah. Paris,
yeah.
What do you think about this?
Can you repeat the question?
So a kid out of college.
You were playing.
I was reading
Did you just play a mean word on my... A fresh out of college job applicant had applied for a reporting fellowship, but then found out that the position did not include writing, but going out, doing reportage, and then giving your notes to an AI to write the final article, kind of like a copy editor, except it's an AI.
I think that's messed up.
So you agree with the student withdrawing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that you should make that very clear from the first job interview, and it should not be surprising to the person taking that job.
But back in the day, since I'm an old guy here, back in the day, there were many jobs on newspapers that were reporting only.
No, I know that. But one, again, like we've talked about
clear,
before with Anthropic and even this Edwards story we just talked about, when the people doing those rewrites are human, you have someone you can blame. In this case, if this AI is going to publish something under this person's byline that ends up being wrong, they're the one on the hook probably for it, or their reputation is on the hook.
They should get a chance to look at it. And
but I also think if you're hiring an early career journalist, they're clearly taking this job because they think it's going to help them advance their career. And as an early career, fresh to college journalist, that means getting bylines and getting experience writing. And if you are in a position where that's what you thought you were going to be doing, and on day one of the job you realize it's not that, something has gone terribly wrong.
Well, I'll devil's advocate you that we argue all the time that you shouldn't come into journalism to write, you should come into journalism to report. The reporting is the most important part and valuable part of journalism. And so that's where the value is. The writing.
It was a fellowship. It wasn't like a job. It was like a
fellowship. I'd argue it's even more problematic because that's supposed to be like an internship.
Where you would learn
is supposed to be giving someone experience.
Right.
Doing a job.
Experience collecting information for an AI. Which may be more likely the kind of job you might be getting in the future.
Every correspondent at Time Inc. did not write the story. Never wrote a story. They sent in the notes. They sent in 30, 40 pages, literally 30, 40 pages.
So it's a rewrite.
20 lines of type.
It's an AI-based
As a writer at Time Inc., I was a writer. And when I was at Chicago Today, the paper that had no tomorrow.
You get a byline when you do that? No.
They didn't used to, but they added them.
Okay.
It used to be Time Inc. had no bylines. It was very, very much like...
I remember those days. Yeah,
We had a guy at Chicago Today we called Bullet Bob Glass. He was a really good reporter. He had great contacts in the city government. He spoke out of the side of his mouth like you expect in Chicago. And
like
he would send in notes and notes and notes. And the reason he was named Bullet Bob Glass is because you'd write up his stuff, and he had good stuff. But at some point, you couldn't figure out how to make a story out of it. So they would just say, in other reporting, bullet, 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 bullet. Because you couldn't make any sense of it. So we called him Bullet Bob Glass.
The Journal of the Canadian Pediatric Society, Pediatrics and Child Health, has issued corrections on 138 cases that it's published over the last 25 years to add the disclaimer, the cases described are fictional.
Oh, boy.
The corrections come following a January article in a New Yorker magazine that mentions that one of the stories was made up. The New Yorker article made public an admission by one of the co-authors. We just made that up. This doesn't have anything to do with AI, so I guess it's just another example of the pressure to fabricate. Doesn't require AI to do this. There is a really interesting debate going on in the open source community right now. We talked about this with Cory Doctorow and Joey Davila on Twit as well. There is a Python library called CareDet that you made a sound. Do you know that library? Are you a fan?
I burped.
She's passing notes. You're burping. I don't know. Maybe we should just do a final ad and get the hell out of Dodge. It is 2 hours and 36 minutes.
It is 3 hours into the show.
Not 3 hours.
It's 8 p.m.
Well, yeah. Okay. I guess you're right. All right. Let me take a break, and then we'll do our picks, and we'll get the heck out of Dodge. Now, I did get an email from somebody last week saying, "Don't make this show so grim, Leo." Do you feel that this was a grim show?
Is
honestly.
That a question?
Yeah.
I think it must be aimed at us because you're Dr. Optimism.
I think
you're Dr. Op.
If I did more voices, it would be less grim.
So I'm going to do the rest of this show.
I think that we should all talk in a funny voice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So let me ask you a question. I'm listening to a book right now, which is really good, but I think you'd really, really like, which is called The Last Kings of Hollywood, about Spielberg and Lucas and Coppola. And it's really well written. It's really good. But the narrator whenever it's a quote from Steven Spielberg, it does a wimpy voice like that.
Which is not how Steven Spielberg talks.
No, it's really irritating. It's both Lucas
crazy.
and Spielberg get wimpy voices.
What a
Coppola doesn't.
choice.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining be like, oh, now I do the Steven Spielberg voice,
And
which
then
is
I
like
told
this.
Francis, we're going to use a puppet for the ET. What do you think?
I listened to another book
Full
called
of
the
Ronnie.
Typewriter and the Guillotine, and the narrator in that would read something that was from a French person and would do it in a French accent. No, that's not the way I
all right.
read the book. I hate that.
That's
that.
all right.
Just
Let
read
me
it.
hear.
Just
This
read
is a little bit of the narration. Let's see if he does it.
This is Audible.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to.
You got to skip the first things.
Read by Sean Taylor Corbett.
Well, Sean Taylor Corbett sounds
you
like
gotta
that.
get to chapter 1.
Yeah, you
We're
gotta-
in the preview right now.
I know. That's all I'm getting is the
prologue.
music at the beginning.
But you got to skip at the end, and then it'll skip to the next thing.
Click pause and then go to the table of
This
contents.
is a work of nonfiction.
There you go.
Any passage presented between
sounds like this
quotation marks
anyway.
is a direct quote from an interview written at Hackett's through third-party
Guys, we gotta click
Or
the
in-
table of contents, open that up, and go to a
You
chapter.
can't because it's a
You can't because it's
preview.
just
I
a
don't.
30. It's a
They're not going. Oh, maybe they. No. Yeah. See, I can only.
Oh, oh, it was right there.
Oh no! But it does look like a good book. I just like to say that, and Audible
It does.
probably be the best way to listen to it.
Yeah, it's good, and I'm fine.
I
with it
like
just all the
Hollywood
time.
stories.
And if I were
I actually-
Spielberg, what would you think? Oh, you got to make.
I would
no,
think
no,
that they clearly must not like movies.
I want Liza Minnelli's new book. I hope she reads it. Probably doesn't, though. But she's this week
Well, you can
released
see.
a biography of her life, which has been quite wild.
Can you do a Liza Minnelli?
No.
Oh, she's narrator. She's narrator.
good.
You get a preview.
Liza
Look up
Minnelli, 79,
memoir.
lets loose on lovers, drugs, and what happened with Lady Gaga at the Oscars in bombshell memoir. It's called Kids. Wait till you hear this. And it just came out yesterday.
Yeah, you can go to it on Amazon.
I think I'm not supposed to do this. But Benito, just cut it out, okay? Just put a big boop over it or something
Well,
like
then
that.
I'm gonna have to cut out all the context too. Then
ways. People become emotional at the mere mention of her name.
Well, that's not her.
So that's the intro, probably. Hit the end of the bar. Just what do you call it? Scrub it.
You've reached the end of this preview. To listen to the full title, you can
went
buy
too
it in
far.
the player.
You reached the end of
It
this
sounds just like
preview.
Steven Spielberg. You've reached the end of this movie. To see more. All
You
right.
have to buy it.
Well, good. We just know this was just the ungrim segment. I just want to do one ungrim segment with funny voices and laughter.
Well, music. No, that's no good. You can't play. You shouldn't have played it because it has music in it.
I don't think that was real music. I don't think we have to worry about it.
All right.
I don't know. I'm more worried about Audible getting mad at me, to be
We're
honest.
promoting their books. Audible, come on.
I keep saying that, but that doesn't stop them.
that doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't seem to matter. That's why I said, it's a pretty good book that you'd probably want to listen to on Audible.
Can I have one fit?
Yes, I see this, and that's why I highlighted it in red.
So you
What
can
is
avoid
it,
it, or
Jeff?
so you could come to it.
So I could come to it because it says Jeff's effing had it.
It's orange. Are you colorblind?
No, I just missed. I pushed the
Okay,
wrong.
I just wanted to make sure.
No, I know it's orange. I was painting a picture for the people at home who can't see it.
And an accurate
What is
picture,
the
put a
problem,
picture.
Jeff? Google
So-
rolls Gemini and more apps. Okay. Meanwhile, I still cannot get Google Gemini embedded in my Google Chrome.
You didn't do
or
the
my
good read. No, you
Google
got. I
Chromebook.
capitalized Google. I still cannot
Google
get Google
rolls Gemini in more apps. Okay. Meanwhile, I still cannot get Google Gemini embedded in my Google Word Chrome on my Google Chromebook
You
with a
can't do
Google
voices.
Workspace account.
Paris.
WTF?
You said you couldn't do voices. You can do voices.
I can, but I don't know what that was.
It doesn't. You don't have to know what it is. Definitely don't.
I'm pissed. Google.
So what are
I'm
you
pissed.
upset about?
In my browser, In my Google Chrome, on my Google Chromebook, under my Google Workspace account, I can't get Google Gemini. Everybody else using Chrome has Gemini in there,
and everybody else using Chrome doesn't want it.
Well, but I'm the one person in the world who does, and I can't get it.
So here's our
Jeff. I'll let you know what you're missing. Every time I write an email now, somewhere between
I got it in
20
Gmail.
and 44% of the words have a little angry purple squiggle under it that's just like, what if you change this to be something worse?
That's not how Neil Patel would say it. All right.
And the red squiggly doesn't do auto. It's not like spelling anymore.
Look, Jeff, here's the
It's a
rundown.
purple
Show my screen. This is the rundown, right? This is the thing. Do you not have this little guy here that you rotate and you click it and it says Ask Gemini?
No, I do. I do in Sheets. I do in Gmail. I don't in Chrome browser.
I
want to use it to see what happens. I want it to analyze, tabs and things like that. That's what I want.
Okay.
I have it in Gmail. I have it in Sheets. I have it in Docs, but I don't have it for some reason in a Chrome browser on a Chromebook.
That is odd.
It's really odd. Google, come on, man. Come on. I'm not joking now.
You should get computer.
Yeah, you should get honestly, just get a
You gotta get computer.
Get rid of your computer and get computer.
Yeah, toss that computer and get computer.
Well, the truth is, on my computer, I can't have computer.
Oh, no Perplexity computer on your computer?
No, because my computer is a Chrome computer.
Do we have any insight?
On my computer, I can't have computer is a perfect sentence. I just we can't have another computer-based title after last week. But
what was last week's title? I didn't hear it.
You got to download computer, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was the second week running for this.
Oh. No, it was you gotta get computer. It was last week.
You gotta get computer. Yeah.
All right. This week I'm going to title it "We Have Computer at Home."
We can't get computer at home, though. Jeff can't have computer at home.
No, computer.
I can't have computer on my computer.
Do we have anything to say about Jay Graber stepping down at Blue Sky? CEO of Blue Sky stepping up, I guess.
I frankly think more CEOs should step down when they're like, I shouldn't be the CEO of a company of this size. I think it's great.
She was there from the beginning when it was just a research project.
Great work, and made it into something, especially as X disintegrated. She did wonderful work. And Tony Schneider, who's stepping in as the interim CEO, is great. He's a nice investor and has worked very closely with Matt Mellon.
And he's just temporary.
His companies. He's just
They're going to bring in a real CEO.
He acted as CEO of WordPress, of Automatic for a while. Tony's great. So we should find out what Matt Masnick has to say because he's on the board.
Oh yes, we should.
Right?
Are we trying to get Mike on? I would like to.
I think we have to find a 4.5 minute window that works for his schedule.
I could tell you one thing. William Shatner did not get $42 from Jay Graber. He did get $42 from Elon Musk. So there. This is the new. So X is now doing X money. I guess you have to be a fading movie star to get the access. But last month, Shatner said Musk sent him $42 through X money, which helped Shatner raise $200,000 for charity. Good for him.
Have you seen the Will Shatner Raisin Bran commercial?
Yes. It's quite funny. It was on the Super Bowl.
Will Shat here, bringing you fiber to the masses with Kellogg's Raisin Prep.
It was a little
edgy.
Edgy, yeah. I love Shatner, and I wish him the best. He says, one day Musk writes to me, well, I don't have my fortune tied up in cash. It's all in ownership of the varieties of companies, Shatner said. So I jokingly say, well, if you need a few dollars, I can lend you a few dollars. Instead, Musk sent him $42 for a nod to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And now I'm not sure exactly how he turned this into a big charitable contribution. I guess. Oh, I get it. He says, I got $42 from Elon. I'll sell each of these dollars. He offered donors access to the beta in exchange for contributions. For $1,000, donors will receive $1 from the X Money account. he said he thought he would get $42,000 or $80,000 for every buck. But the first round sold out so fast, Musk sent another $42. And so basically they're in this cooperative to promote X money, which if you ask me, I wouldn't go near, but okay, fine.
Do they believe that money is not fungible? Like, I don't understand this at all.
Yeah, because you're not getting a physical dollar bill signed by Elon Musk. You're just getting a dollar in your X Money account. But that did give you access to it, because if somebody who has an X Money account sends you money, now you have an X Money account.
Oh, okay. So
whatever you do, folks, do not send me any X Money. I do not want it.
Don't send me.
Last ad, and then we're going to do our picks of the week, if you don't mind, boys and girls. You're watching Intelligent Machines with a groggy Paris Martineau and a fading Jeff Jarvis. I have worn them down. I did. Did you miss me from last week? I bet Jason Heiner didn't wear you down, did he? No. He kept the show moving.
Oh, Paris, you're muted.
He actually had a very hard out because the podcast studio he was in was going to kick him out if we did a show this long.
Yeah.
So
he would have been gone 8 minutes ago.
A large cane would have come from stage right and pulled him off.
This episode of Intelligent Machines brought to you by Stash. Have you dabbled in investing here and there, but haven't been happy with how things are going? Stash helps turn good intentions into consistent progress. Stash isn't just another investing app. It's a registered investment advisor that combines automated investing with expert personalized guidance, so you don't have to worry about gambling or figuring it out on your own. Stash is simple, smart, and stress-free. Choose from personalized investments. Let Stash's award-winning smart portfolio do the work for you, or pick a combo of both. Stash is there to help guide you every step of the way. Join over 1 million active Stash subscribers. And finally, let your money work as hard as you do. Don't let your money sit around. Put it to work with Stash. Go to get.stash.com/IM to see how you can receive $25 towards your first stock purchase and to view important disclosures. That's get.stash.com/IM. Get.stash.com/IM. Paid non-client endorsement, not a guarantee nor representative of all clients. Smart portfolios are discretionary managed accounts and subject to additional fees. See the advisory agreement and deposit account agreement for details. Investment advisory services offered by Stash Investments, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk. Now, it's time for our picks of the week. That should liven things up. Who wants to start? Let's let Paris start. Ms. Martin.
I'm trying to decide whether I want to invite everybody.
Don't.
Okay, I won't.
You're playing too many games already. I know they want to know.
No, this is becoming a.
Did you pick your handle, by the way, or is that an automated handle?
I did pick my handle. Apparently, you can just set your handle to anything, so I could just change it to the letter A. It's not unique, but I thought it was kind of funny.
Stone Cold Killer.
Stone Cold Killer. So I guess my pick will be. It's labeled "I'm going crazy" under my picks, which is I've descended into coffee madness. I have recently been optimizing my pour-over setup, as I've talked about in the show. I've got a brew logger now going on. I've also got like a manual. Right? I vibe coded this photo that I'm showing is I realized that I think my issues with coffee consistency might be because my manual grinder isn't producing an even distribution of particles. So I found a website that I guess could actually be my pick of the week. I'll find it one second.
Oh, you have a 292.27 micrometer standard
I know,
deviation.
and my particle size was way too high to begin with. And see, if you look, you have one that's up there that's 1,226 microns, and another from the exact same batch that's 950 microns.
But how does it taste, Paris?
It tastes good, but sometimes the thing is, I started doing this because I had dialed in a great coffee recipe. I had like 92 clicks on my 1Zpresso J manual grinder, and this wonderful coffee from Perk that I'd really recommend called the Ethiopia Chelcha, which is an anaerobic natural process that has phenomenal blueberry strawberry.
This is what
hint of
Jeff
Cool
was
Whip.
deeply afraid of.
But I was getting some of my best cups.
This
like
is why
9
she's
out
an
of 10.
investigative reporter.
It's
She's putting
lovely.
red string up between all the...
But then I changed nothing about my setup. I've got my Hario switch. I'm doing a 4-6 pour method. I've got ranging from 205 degrees to 210. But sometimes I would get a 9 out of 10 cup, and the next day I'd get a 5 out of 10 cup. And I was like,
Consistency is
what
so
is the
important.
issue?
Yeah,
and
it's
the
your
issue is
grinder.
that my particle size is trash. And
Yes.
so now what I've realized I'm going to do is go to... I'm going to put this also in the rundown so you can click on it. I found a place in Greenpoint called Hyonia Club, which is a coffee club for freaks where you can pay $15 to get a day pass and try out. They have every fancy coffee equipment you could imagine.
Oh, what fun.
And you can try them all out and determine whether or not it's actually worth spending $200+ on a grinder.
200.
beforehand.
Oh, that's not a good enough grinder. You need to spend
Well, I don't know that I...
$2,500 on this
I know,
Mazzo.
I'm gonna try the
Mazzer
crazy
Phyllis.
grinder too. Well,
This is
the thing
what you
is,
need.
That's an espresso grinder. I don't make espresso. I make
that's right.
pour-over.
You need a
and
regular
so I need.
grinder. Okay.
I could. I don't know necessarily that I want to even pay for an electric grinder because
We
that
have a Baratza.
adds more cost to it, and I'm only making 20 grams of coffee at a time.
Right.
However, I might pay like $400 for a manual grinder, which is
Doesn't
crazy.
the CR lab have like every grinder available?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great point. We haven't tested manual and specialty coffee grinders, and I think that could be a great avenue for us to explore.
Oh,
Because
maybe
as
this is what
I've
she's
gotten,
working on, huh?
You got to pitch that. You got to pitch that story
listen,
now.
I'm going to. As I've gotten into this, I downloaded this great book called The Physics of Filter Coffee. I am like
You watch
losing my
James
mind.
Hoffman's reviews?
No,
of it?
although because I don't
Hoffman's
like YouTube
quite
videos,
good.
but I have
But
read a lot of.
Hoffman's really
yes,
good.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm like trying to get more into the physics of it rather than specifically coffee influencers because their vibes change.
He's
based
not
on
an
the day.
influencer. He's really a coffee expert.
Yes, he's an expert. I follow the recipe I'm using is by another expert like this, and I was using a Hoffman recipe for a while. But
I gotta get you on with a coffee geek. We've done coffee shows on the club, and we'll do a special coffee show with you and
we should.
The coffee geek, because I think Mark Prince is fantastic, and he is an expert on all this stuff. He does like his espresso. The other thing I would recommend, I wanted to buy this. I almost did. This is a brewer that does pour over automatically for a more consistent.
I mean, I don't know. So,
And
I
it
guess-
has a pid and everything, so you can
based on the
really-
thing that says ratio 4 makes me suggest to me that it might be a 4-6 brewing method. But I think part of it is I'm making coffee for just me, and it
This
takes
makes 1 cup.
It takes 5 minutes, literally, in the morning from grinding.
I think the hand grinding's got to stop. I don't think
the hand grinding. So, Leo, I was right there with you 2 months ago. I was over at a friend's house.
Don't use the Ozo though. That's terrible. That's a horrible.
I was at. I mean, listen. The OXO was a problem, but I was at a friend's house and he was manually coffee grinding in the morning, and I was like, "What is this? The Stone Age? Are you an idiot?" And then I did more research, and I was like, "No,
This is the
honestly,
real
you can
deal."
get some good stuff." But I think what I've realized is I need to. It all depends on your particle size distribution.
So
and
this is an
who
app,
has
the grind
the
size analyzer? Is this an app?
Yes, I need to actually find where it is, hon.
I got it right here. The grind size
yes.
analyzer. So you use your phone, you take a picture, you upload it, and it will tell you, all right, I'm going to do this.
It's just a web app. It's a website,
okay.
right?
I want to do this. Yeah, it's not you're right.
What's
it's just
the
a web
URL?
app. Unspecialty.edu.
Yeah.
So I will
And
do
I mean,
this with our
there's
Baratza
certainly
grinder, and I'll let you know.
There's
'cause
certainly some problems with it. Like, obviously, you're just taking a photo. You can't, despite what the instructions say, have the grinds go over little boxes. But I would suggest doing it a couple times with samples from the top and bottom of your grind cup, because it'll differentiate, because you got boulders up top and fines below, as I well know now. But
You are hysterical. So yeah, actually, the website is unspecialty.com.
it's ruining my life, low key, but it's also resulting in delightful coffee. And so
Now,
my
here's the
last
question. How many cups a day do you drink?
one in the morning.
Yeah, see, that's my problem is I can only drink one in the morning.
But it's when it's
But if it's a
this
really good
Ethiopia chelcha, when I'm making it right, it tastes like strong blueberry and strawberry notes.
See, I
like
like the
hints of
fruity.
acidity. It's fun. So
And
I
you're
would
doing
also
a light roast or a
recommend
medium? A light?
It's like light medium.
Yeah.
Over there, I also recently just got a bag in today from Hydrangea Roasters. It's going to be a lighter one I'm trying. But I would really recommend people check out this Ethiopia chelcha from Perk Coffee. And if you're listening to this later this week on the 13th, Perk, this is not an ad. I just really like this one thing of Perk is kind of obsessed with the number 13. So on the 13th of every month, this roaster gives you 31% off any order of their site.
Oh.
So I don't know. If you want to try a fancy coffee, you can get it for a third off. It's kind of fun.
I might try this. I usually just make espresso, but this chelcha.
I don't know how this
is
would.
it like?
I
How's
mean,
it like? Is it compared to Yirgachefe, which is what we've been?
It's an Ethiopian Yirgachefe.
Oh, it is. It's
Yes.
just they call
It's
it.
from the Gato zone.
Oh, okay.
I believe Chelche might be the producer.
Oh, okay. 'Cause,
It's
I
Benko
really like
Chelche.
Yirgachefe. I really like.
Yeah,
it.
I'm a
This is
big
all made up.
Ethiopia
They're doing
Yirgachefe.
this just for the.
And so on
is
their
Yirgachefe
website, they
from the
have
Gadeo
Breville
zone, yeah.
espresso brewing instructions as well. So
And this is an anaerobic natural process, Jeff.
this is, some of.
Is it
this is
washed? It's not washed, is it?
It's not washed,
No.
but one of the things I've been getting really into is co-ferments. Have you heard about this?
Oh.
They're a bit controversial in the coffee world, but I think that's dumb. It's where the fermentation process, they introduce additional fruits in there and see
You're
what
doing
goes
this
on.
just to annoy Jeff, aren't you?
I am. He looks like he's being tortured.
Oh, we're torturing him. We're just torturing him. We do AeroPress around here with a Baratza grinder, and it produces a pretty good cup of coffee. But I
heard about
think
soup. All the AeroPress boys are doing soup now. Look it up.
soup in an AeroPress.
That's it's not actual soup. It's a method of brewing coffee that's called soup.
Soup. Okay.
And apparently it's the hot thing in more ways than one.
So your recommendation also is which subreddit? The pour over subreddit?
It's a blessing and a curse. The r/pour over has caused all these things that just that word vomit.
I've
that just
never
happened to
done
happen
pour
to me.
over. I never got pour over because when I was a kid, we had a Chemex and we would pour the coffee into the Chemex. But this is a little different.
No. That's what I've realized. So before all of this, me, a fool 3 months ago, I was doing the Chemex. Little did I realize the Chemex filters, they're stripping all the flavors I want out of that.
No.
Plus the crappy grinder I was using, I was paying for all this fancy coffee, I was getting trash. It's like I've got a Hario switch now, which allows me to do both immersion and percolation, but it's glass because I got the glass one because I'm worried about microplastics. So I've got to preheat it. It's a dive.
What happens when you add caffeine to this mania you're displaying right now?
Here's my question. How long does it take you to make your coffee in the morning?
From stepping over to my kitchen to drinking coffee, less than 5 minutes.
Oh, that's all right.
The actual brew time is 2:50 to 3:30.
It feels like you're doing a lot of stuff.
No, this is all the thinking that I do before, after, around the brewing.
I have just joined /r/pour over. So, look at this.
Everybody's making fun of that guy.
That's a portable kit, ready to go. Got everything you need for your pour over. Is that the kind of manual grinder you have there?
Yes, that is the kind of manual grinder.
Yeah. I can't believe that seems.
There was a video someone posted of someone on an airplane brewing coffee because they had a pour over fellow Stag EKG kettle, all the stuff.
This is a great group because it's people really who are not embarrassed. They're among friends and they can share their obsessions.
All right. So if people out there who've listened to all this and understood have any thoughts as to whether I should get a ZP6 or a K Ultra grinder, please let me know. Or if I should spring for the Pietro, but that might be crazy.
You're crazy.
What I value is fruitiness. And that's not covered by any
to do, and you don't get that
in
an espresso.
Because the ZP6 is clarity focused, but at the sacrifice of body. And the K filter might be too body focused that I wouldn't get my flavor separation. It's maddening, I tell you. I'm so sorry.
Poco, I
everybody.
have the Ninja Lux. Actually, it's quite a good coffee maker, but probably not in the category that Paris thinks. But I actually love for $500. It's a really good coffee maker, the Ninja from Shark. All right. Now you make me want a cup of coffee. The problem is the sun's gone over the yard arm. It's not time for coffee. I have to drink it in the morning or I won't sleep well.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't even think I could do decaf. There's something about the idea of just drinking coffee-like beverage that would make me feel
don't
awake.
Do that to yourself. No.
That's all I drink is decaf.
What you really need is a percolator. Get one of those Hamilton Beach percolators.
We used to have them on my house. It was on all day long.
And you leave it running. Yep. And you could drink all day, but you make it weak.
Ilona would come over to visit my mother, and sit down with him.
Coffee's on. Come on over.
Exactly.
Have a coffee clatch. Jeff Jarvis, your pick of the week.
Well, so we can talk about how much culture has changed.
Yes.
Two things. One,
Yes, it has.
the Hollywood Reporter reports that YouTube is now the world's largest media company.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I actually bookmarked that as a story. That's unbelievable.
YouTube had more than $62 billion revenue, which beats Disney.
Jeez.
And
$62 billion. Bigger than Disney.
so who was it here who did this? Moffett-Nathanson analysts estimate its value on its own at 500 to 560 billion versus Netflix, which has a market cap of 409 billion.
Wow.
Total revenue of 40 billion, but that's ad revenue plus subscription business.
Yeah, because I subscribe to YouTube TV. I give them my $80 a month.
YouTube has around 10 million subscribers now,
So
which
many
will
bucks.
soon overtake, eventually, Charter and Comcast.
Yeah.
So that's our present world. But I want to take you, children, to the past. The year
What's that?
is 1994.
What's that, Grandpa? Yeah?
The year is 1994.
Yeah?
And in that time, it was so exciting every fall that we would have an entire 1 hour special. In addition to having the guide special, we had a 1 hour special of...
now you can see why he was San Francisco's most eligible bachelor, can't you?
Well, one of
Paris?
ET's, Entertainment Tonight's fall TV special. So I swept in the link below. You can keep the sound off. You
Can we watch it?
Yes, you can. There it is. There it is.
Da 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 da.
Sure. You want to watch for Mary Hart's hair.
You can press any button you want.
Da 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 da.
Television season is upon us, and it is truly out of this world. I can do wondrous things. I can't
They
zip my
had such
pants
big
up.
ties back then.
Where do you show up?
So if you go to the link that's
Yeah,
on
we're in the
207.
45 minutes.
Oh yeah, in 207 I'm there. If you go to the link.
When I was in my early radio days, right around this time, maybe a few years earlier, I would record and watch ET every night looking for gossip I could use on my radio show the next day.
So at 207, I swept across to just
That's the
find.
only way to
found a
find out
link.
whose birthday it is watching ET. That used to be the only way.
We had to do that.
Yes.
We had to do that. All right, let's jump to Jeff's appearance on Entertainment Tonight with, was it Mary Hart
Yeah, and John Tesh.
and John Tesh? Wait a minute, no, it's the beginning. I don't.
No, it should be at the time code.
No, I got to look at the link again.
Start at 42 minutes.
All right.
I can't zip my pants up.
I'm Mary Hart. The O.J.
I'm Mary
Simpson
Hart.
story comes to the small screen,
Does that mean I'm under arrest?
and the good guys get the bad guys.
This is
Man, chasing crooks.
It's so ET.
Suits up and a beauty earns her.
It's wonderfully written.
That's a crazy line.
oh.
Oh, he's in a little floating box. You missed
Here are the
him.
judges, Tom Shales of the Washington Post, TV Guide's Jeff Jarvis, and Jonathan Storm from the
Walking down a hall.
B-roll.
The best new series this season, I think, is My So-Called Life. It's wonderfully written. Wonderfully
That was a good show.
One season?
By far my pick for the best show of the new season.
Yeah, well, there's that. I also panned Friends.
Girl, and I'm sure some critic will say there's no business like Cho.
I like Tom Shales.
Tom Shales.
Is he still around?
No, he's died.
Of course, it's
He had
Why don't you guys
I don't know
watch
this guy.
Frasier? I watched that recently.
but he always
three white guys tell you about TV.
So these were your picks, huh? Of all three of them, you were the one that picked the show
For
that.
the critics' pan.
Oh, what did you hate?
One of the shows to be first canceled, Lee McKenna. Chad Everett comes back and Boy, is he old.
Short is in a little bit of trouble, I think, this year with his show. It's possible that Martin Short will not get to air.
Why is Daddy's Girls the absolute worst of the season?
Daddy's Girl.
Dudley Moore. There really ought to be a...
Oh, Dudley Moore. No. Yeah.
I was looking at all these shows.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a little glimpse of 1994 seen through the lens of one Jeffrey T. Jarvis. Thank you very much. I have so many things I could show you. This one I think is good for Paris. It's called Payphone Go. It's like Pokemon Go.
Oh, I've seen this and I want to play.
It's only with payphones.
Oh, no, another game.
Where's the nearest payphone to you? Don't.
Oh, that's a good question. I have to get an ID and all that. But you find a payphone, and you go to it, and you get points for going to it. Wow, there are
so many payphones in San Francisco.
Yeah, but out here in the boonies, I don't see a lot of payphones.
What do the different colors mean?
I don't know. So it says use the map to locate a payphone, pick up the receiver, dial 888-683-6697, and then enter your player ID. The first person to call from a payphone gets 20 points. Second person gets 10. Third gets 5. Oh, look, there's a payphone. There are 2 in Petaluma.
So I wonder what...
There's 2 at the fairgrounds, and there's one here.
And each has one claim.
Just around the corner from our old studio.
I love this game. This is awesome.
Yeah. So you go, you make a call, and you get points.
Go to Brooklyn.
Should we go to Brooklyn? All right. Let's zoom out.
Yeah. Wait, no, it's only in California.
Oh. No, really?
It says California still has only 2,200.
That's no fun. Why got to expand it? Oh, man. Well, I guess you can't play Payphone Go.
I mean, it's probably just one dude sitting at home made this, so, you know.
Yeah. Oh, of course it is.
How did you find all the payphones?
You look, there must be some.
There must be some public record, right?
Public record.
Well, these aren't phone company phones anymore. They're
No, in fact, Henry's best friend's father made a killing because he bought all of AT&T's payphones.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that.
They wanted to get out of the business. It was a real pain to go around each phone, collect all the dimes. So he put cell phones in the payphones, and he already had a business selling restock. He would sell ice cream in freezers. You know how you go to a bodega and there's a freezer and there's ice cream in it? He had a really good business. It turns out it's not an ice cream business. It's a logistic business. He made sure that the freezer cases had scales in the feet, so they wouldn't bother restocking them until the weight of the freezer was low enough to justify it. And he realized I could do the same thing with a payphone coin case. So I would save time and money only collecting when the payphone is full.
Brilliant.
He's very wealthy. Very wealthy. Got all those payphones for a song. Here's a company that wants to pay you $800 to bully AI. This might be a good job for you, Paris. The company wants candidates with extensive personal history of being let down by technology. The 8-hour session is intended to promote the startup's AI memory tool. If that's your job, go to Professional AI Bully and get paid to bully AI. Oh, only one person gets the job. Memvid.com. This sounds a little bit like a promotional vehicle. One person. Oh,
sounds like we're making a pariah for all the AI to kill at the end when it all.
And then I did get you something. This is for you, Benito. It's called Tweakbench. Your favorite producer's favorite plugins. These are all the VST plugins used by famous producers. I know you want to write your own with Claude Code.
This is awesome, though. That's great.
I thought you might like this. Your favorite producer's favorite plugins, LOL. I'm not sure what the LOL is all about, and they're, $5. They're not expensive.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole range of free ones too that are like.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with this. These are Tweakbench plugins, so I guess this is a company that does plugins. But $5, nice price. Get the whole Tweakbench bundle for $60. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now filled our
order
cornucopia to the brim with good
Don't make it.
When's the last time we did a 3.5 hour pod? It's been a minute.
3 hours and 12 minutes. You think we started?
I logged into the Zoom call 3 hours and 33 minutes.
This is like flight attendants don't get paid until the doors close.
The doors
start counting.
The doors don't close until I push the button.
And Leo spent those first 30 minutes trying to figure out how Zoom browser works.
Yeah. I'm going to figure that out before the next episode.
You've said that so many times.
One of these days. Thank you so much to Guy Kawasaki, a wonderful guest, a wonderful guy. Really enjoyed talking to him. It's probably not too late to email him and get his book for free on in a Kindle form. Just email everybodyhassomethingtohide@gmail.com, and Guy will send you a copy. Thank you, Paris Martineau. She is doing her coffee research for Consumer Reports, where she's an investigative journalist. It's so nice to see you. You got the Hawaiian shirt on. When'd you do that? I missed that.
At the beginning, when we all changed into Hawaiian shirts to match you.
Trying to get Zoom to work. Thanks to Jeff Jarvis, put on his Hawaiian black
hoodie. Yeah.
Jeff, of course, the author of the Gutenberg Parenthesis magazine, and soon, Hot Type.
Not so soon now. It was going to come out June 11, Hot Type. But with a production delay, they were going to push it into July, and I kind of had a little fit. And I said, that's death time. So now it's coming out at the end of August. But you can pre-order it now still.
So July is not a good time for a book to come out?
No, because everyone's gone, and they're in the sun.
Hot Type, the magnificent machine that gave birth to mass media and drove Mark Twain mad. Available July 23rd. Amazon has it for
They're going to
pre-order.
change that to August now.
Have you read did you do the Audible?
I haven't done it yet. No.
But it is going to be available on Audible.
One, yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So do me a favor whenever you do Mark Twain's voice. Can you do it like that? Mark Twain here.
Well, who was it who played Mark Twain?
Hal Holbrook.
Hal Holbrook. I think I now have to do my Hal Holbrook.
Mark Twain, good night. Do you do a Hal Holbrook?
Well, should we play a little bit for Paris on the way out here?
Of Mark Twain tonight?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? If we haven't been taken down yet. I wish I'd seen it. I think there were broadcast versions of it.
Wait, if you're gonna,
but he would go around
music,
the country.
They're not gonna let us that on. Even post this on YouTube.
It's not music.
Okay.
It's not music. It's just Hal Holbrook on stage talking like Mark Twain from 1967. So it's probably not even in copyright anymore. He did a pretty good, credible job with this.
Man is really the most interesting jackass there is.
Why is he dressed like Colonel Sanders?
That's Mark Twain.
At the end of his life, that's what Twain wore.
To admire him.
Twain himself used to go around and do lectures. This is all from
in fact, he had to because
lectures.
the machine that he backed to compete with the linotype bankrupted him, and late in life, he had to go around the world giving talks to make his money back.
Would have been fun to see him, though. I bet he was great.
Oh, God. Yeah. I should do that voice, though, don't you think? In the
you
book?
talk like that.
There's a lot of Twain quotes. I think I could do that.
Yeah, see?
I'm glad we got some voices in, so this wasn't so grim. Thank you for joining us. We do Intelligent Machines every Wednesday.
Finish by Thursday.
We're usually done by Thursday. We start at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. No, not TikTok. X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Kick. Of course, in the Club Twit Discord. And thank you, Club Twit members, for making this show possible. We really appreciate your support. Without that, I don't know if we'd be here. I really don't. So we thank you for keeping us on. If you're not a member yet, quick, go to twit.tv/clubtwit and join. After the fact, on-demand versions of the show available at twit.tv/IM. There's a YouTube video channel dedicated to the show. Great for sharing clips.
Can you use the rest to do a little voice? Can you do a little voice for the rest of the thing?
Yeah. What voice should we do?
Do Mark Twain.
Or a transatlantic.
A mid-Atlantic accent.
Mid-Atlantic, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on this fine show, and we'll be back again next week for another thrilling, gripping edition of Intelligent Machines. Good night, Martha, and save a beer for me.
I'll see you on the radio.
I'll see you on the radio.
Download computer.
You can't get computer on his computer, see?
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Hi there, Leo Laporte here. I just wanted to let you know about some of the other shows we do on this network. You probably already know about This Week in Tech. Every Sunday, I bring together some of the top journalists in the tech field to talk about the tech stories. It's a wonderful chance for you to keep up on what's going on with tech, plus be entertained by some very bright and fun minds. I hope you'll tune in every Sunday for This Week in Tech. Just go to your favorite podcast client and subscribe. This Week in Tech from the Twit Network. Thank you.
I'm not a human being.